When I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan.
Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Touchlinefracas. This afternoon I'm joined with a panel made up of some regulars and some new guys. I'll start with the regulars. Disu, clearly somehow managed to get into Old Trafford. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. You know, I'm here with some old time fans. You get me? Just live and
Day
live
one
from the Stretford end. You know that. So.
We respect it. Meads, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Good. You look matching do-rags. Love it, lads.
He wants to be me, that's it. You only started wearing do-rags in 2019.
Stay calm, man. Yeah, stay calm.
You started wearing do-rags in 2019, brother. We know the vibes.
Seb, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Shout out the boss man's behind the AO, bro. I ain't seen them for time since Fergie left. Bro. Them man were the most loyal fans ever. And then when Fergie left, them man were gone.
I was telling Alex and them, they're still about. They're just not trying to be caught on camera with.
Oh, is he? Yeah, bro. They're the realest fans.
Yeah, man. Day one.
Them man are the realest fans still. They've been there since day one.
Listen, from the root, man. Alex, how you doing, mate?
How you doing, bro? You alright?
I'm good.
Nice to be here, man.
Good to have you on, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the invitation, man.
Yeah, no worries at all. And Dapper, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm very good, very good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no worries at all. We're going to be starting with kind of like a team of the season thing. So obviously you probably won't hear much about players from the team you support, but I still want you to give a good innings, give a good showing, yeah? Cool.
Yeah, cool.
What kind of shade is that, bro?
You had a certain striker on and you took him off your list, so you should be the one explaining to him, apologizing. But before we get into all of that, I just want to touch on some interesting news that has come my way this week. By the way of a certain Dave Kitson. A lot of people say he is actually the secret footballer who's always done those football articles, but he was making a bid for the role of, I think he still is making a bid for the role of chief exec of the PFA, only for some of his past transgressions to come to the light. Have you guys seen anything about this?
He's a bum.
He's a bum. He's a bum still.
Like, the stuff that you were saying about Raheem Sterling, and we called that at the time about Raheem, he brings it onto himself. He brings a lot of problems onto himself. I mean, the tattoo and all that. I'm like, hold on. Are you an idiot? On his social media himself, he's got himself holding a gun. On social media, he's misnaming players on purpose.
He's got the Ferrari.
Yeah,
he's got the Ferraris.
Oh, yeah, you have the flashy cars, and obviously people are going to talk about you. He's got a big bad boy Ferrari in his yard, outside his yard. Is he mad? He's just a big dickhead. And there's no way, if I'm a pro footballer and I'm looking at this shoe, and I'm thinking, there is no way you can be like you. There's no way you were ex-pro as well, being a rep for me. Nah, it's a myth. It's a big myth. He needs to settle down with that one. I think today he asked for forgiveness today.
You know that word forgiveness kills me. You know,
he needs to make dua.
Like my man saying like he's Jesus. That one actually kills me. The headline finished me, bro. How you saying my man's asking for forgiveness now? That actually finished me. Still, not even gonna lie.
So I beg. He's a fool, big fool.
I mean, after the week that we've had on Twitter with people not cleaning up their pasts, the first thing he should have done is gone back on his Insta feed and deleted. Like, if I was to go on there now, I could still see that. And why do he keep coming for Welbeck as well?
And he was on Wells.
I remember that. That was bad.
Well, for no reason.
On Welbeck, you know.
Yeah.
But every black person was Welbeck.
Every single one, bro.
Hey, if you had a high top and you were black, you was a Welbeck. And do you know what's so bad, yeah? Like, even though he's my boy, I'm gonna have to draw him out, bruv. I saw a screenshot and Harry Maguire had liked it. And when I saw Harry Maguire like, just said, nah, these men are nasty. these men are nasty still. These men are nasty, bruv.
Yeah, I think Yeah, apart from the sweep of his social media, I don't think it makes sense for him to be the one representing the players, and it's only right that players have spoken out. So I think that's probably going to be the end of his short bid to be the representative of the players at the highest level. Anyone else have any thoughts on that they want to share?
Funny enough, though, I don't think Raheem's probably not come out and publicly said anything, but I think Raheem kind of holds a lot of weight, especially in terms of like representing footballers, especially after what he's done in 2019, 2018 about racism and equality in sport. So I think that would have been dead in the water anyway. Like, even if you ask for forgiveness, I think a lot of what Raheem has done is given a lot of players, especially black players or players from other ethnic minorities, it's definitely given them a bigger voice. And maybe in the past, all of the stuff that Dave Kitson said and did would have been like forgotten and like brushed under the carpet. But now, because Raheem's spoken up, it's probably given a lot more players a lot more, I guess, I wouldn't say backbone, but because Raheem said it, they've got a lot more confidence that if they were to call foul play or say, nah, this is bullshit,
it wouldn't fall on
they're
deaf
not going to
ears.
be exactly. They're not going to get a lot of stick for it. So yeah, it's long for Kitson, but good. He's a prick. I'm not having him.
I mean, for me, it's hard because part of what he's saying is right, but the way he said it is wrong. Because obviously, as players, we do have a responsibility to like maintain our image. But what Raheem's done isn't it a bad thing?
No,
nothing Raheem's done is bad in the way, but the way he said it and what he's picking out is wrong, and that's the problem with it. That's the problem with what he said is what he's been picking out of Raheem's behaviour is wrong because
many percent
you're allowed to do that, but we do have a responsibility to hold ourselves in the right way. Because I mean, I've seen other players getting themselves in trouble over this quarantine period just by being silly.
That's fair.
Good point. Okay, with business being handled, it's time to get on to the next part of our podcast. Here at Touchline, we do like to stick our neck out sometimes, and that sometimes people like what they hear, sometimes they don't. What we're going to do is we're going to do an end of season review. Probably gasps, mainly from Liverpool fans, because they're thinking, what, the season's not done yet? What are you on about? We may end up being right, but we may also end up being wrong, and in that case, we'll be more than happy to come back and redo it. But for now, I want us to do a season's review. So where I'm going to start with is the start of last season. At the start of last season, we put out our list of the top 10 players in the Premier League. Disu, me, Sebi, you are among the people who voted. So I'm going to read out that list for all of you, just so you can, first of all, remember where we were in August 2019.
I'm nervous. I already know what I've said.
The good old days. So, the overall list, we had David Silva at number 10, Bernardo Silva at number 9, Raheem Sterling at number 8, Pogba at number 7, Salah at 6, Harry Kane at 5, Virgil van Dijk at 4, Aguero at 3, Kevin De Bruyne at 2. Am I missing somebody? I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing?
Mane.
Where was Mane?
I think he was 5.
Was Mane 5th, yeah?
I think
But
so.
I've got a list in front of you. You're talking to us.
Yes.
Man's got the list. So who did I miss? Look at your list, big man.
Nah.
It was in the top 5 for sure.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
If not, that's crazy.
Yeah, Mane. No, I don't think he was. He wasn't above Salah.
I think he was.
Mane was above Salah. Right.
Yeah.
Let me corroborate my facts. Give me a second. Let me check for you guys. Listen, it's got to be right. Certain men are going to be getting drawn out, so got to make sure that they can't win on a technicality.
So whose list is this? Is this everyone's, the groups?
Yeah, this was the whole group, so across all the different podcasts. So here it is. David Silva 10th, Bernardo Silva 9th, Raheem Sterling 8th, Pogba 7th, Mane 6th, Salah 5th, Kane 4th, Van Dijk 3rd, Aguero 2nd, and De Bruyne number 1. Dapo and Alex, you guys didn't vote in this. What are your opinions on that list? So we're going into the start of the season, August. We've asked the guys who they think the best 10 players in the Premier League is. From that list that I've just read out, are there any names that stick out? Who would you guys have had as number one? Firstly, I'd like to ask.
I mean, yeah, I would have had Kevin De Bruyne at number one for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I something that stuck out to me was having Sterling at 8.
What is that? Too high? Too low?
That's way too low for me. I mean,
Oh, okay. Where would you have Sterling, Dapper?
I mean, Sterling below Pogba is
Oh god damn.
I mean, you have to look at it. Sterling had just won the Premier League the year before and was one of the best players that season.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could say about Pogba getting in the team of the year last year, but I mean, I was surprised with that as well. A lot of people.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't it?
Something like.
Quick time. He was always getting in that.
What do you mean? Quick, always.
Come on, man.
I can't. I mean, it happened, but I don't know. But yeah,
So
I'd have
Raheem
Sterling
too low,
higher.
Pogba
Yeah.
too high. Is there anyone else you look at in that list and think, what are you doing there, mate? Or they should have given you more juice. So again, David Silva 10th, Bernardo 9th, Sterling 8th, Pogba 7th, Mane 6th, Salah 5th, Kane 4th, Van Dijk 3rd, Aguero 2nd, and De Bruyne 1st.
I thought Aguero's high.
Good player, yeah?
Yeah, he's all right, isn't he? He's good, a good lad. Good
Can't-
lad, you know? Good background.
I'm not having any Aguero slander because Aguero.
Nah, Aguero's too high, though,
Yeah,
on that
man.
list.
What do you mean too high?
Nah, it was too high on that list, though.
You're
Aguero's-
talking about what he means, like he's not speaking to you.
Yeah, like, there's no way Aguero was the second best player in the Premier League. No way. Come on, let's be real.
You know, Aguero's stats this season, let alone, are better than all his other seasons. Like he's scoring more goals per minute this season than he has been in the rest
The
of
pep factor is a proven theory, you know, it happens. But like I listened last week and they said if he wasn't for Pep, he would be in Argentina, sizzling steaks. So really and truly, we know it's the Pep factor. We know. Come on, man. Pep enhances everyone by 40% immediately.
Yeah, you're getting 10 goals off of that. 10 goals, 2 assists. You're coming into the season with 10 goals, 2 assists if you play up from Pep.
Immediately.
What you do from there, that's up to you, bro.
Man, I say Aguero should have been at Boca Juniors making gaucho, you know. You're disrespectful.
No, he's a good striker. He's a great striker, but
Man is like 18 and 22. Like, come on, some respect on Aguero's name,
clear,
man.
Aguero's clear.
Aguero's a mammoth.
As much as we enjoy a little, you know, good player slander, but nah, he's dirty. Aguero's ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's kind of low down on my recent list, though.
you had him at 10th at the start of the season as well.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, he's a bit of a meat pie.
Okay, he's still in your top 10.
Yeah,
But not at the top.
Yeah, he's still a killer. But like, just like, especially comparing back to what Aguero was when he first came on the Mancini, like super dynamic, running past people for fun. He still has a match, like the goal he scored against Liverpool where he cut across was it Lovren, controlled of his studs, left foot roof of the net.
Yeah.
He still has that magic in him, but his all-round influence in games has dwindled up. Obviously, when you're playing for City and you still have his quality, you give him a smithing around the box, he's still gonna bury it, innit? So, yeah,
cool.
so
That's fine. Yeah, you had him at number 2. You had him at number 2, FS. So you the list has kind of stayed consistent with you. Ozil was on some people's lists.
Ozil in 2019.
we could talk about that. I'm here to talk.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk on it. Ozil, and he was picked by an Arsenal fan. Yep, that's fine. Anton.
That's big nostalgia because Ozil's not been good for at least 2 years. Like, I don't understand it. Like, Ozil's not been
at least 2. I'm talking about 3. I'm talking about 3.
Nah, you have to think. Yeah, Ozil. What is he? He's an attacking midfielder, and he plays in an Arsenal. He plays in an Arsenal team who, for the last 2 years before, had one winger in the squad, which was Iwobi.
So we're going down there. He needs runners. Yeah.
I'm saying you put Ozil with wingers, and he's
you know how
Arsenal haven't been getting the best out of him.
Do you know how old he was when Arsenal signed him? He was 24 years old.
But you know what the thing is? You got Pepe though, 72 mils, 72 million pounds. You got Nelson, you got Martinelli. Ozil still look pony this season.
but we're talking about Arsenal, an Arsenal team rebuilding. this season compared to you. If you're comparing him to the players, like you put him in, do you not think if you put him in the City team, he doesn't get countless assists?
No, he'll 100% get counts
He'll get more.
assists, yeah,
100%.
but Pep will be slapping his head because that type of 10 doesn't even exist anymore. No, but it doesn't exist anymore, man. The minimal work type of 10, it just don't exist. In fact, it does exist, but it's becoming obsolete. Like it just doesn't work anymore. Like the way the tempo of the game, you need everybody to be on everything, innit? You know what I mean? Everyone's got to be on, working for the team. Like the type of Real Madrid luxury that my man come from, and that no, they're not doing that anymore. And not to say he wasn't a top player, because Ozil was definitely world class in it, and he also in fact there's many things he'd done previously before Arsenal that he's not doing at Arsenal, and obviously with the players that that definitely does add to the fact that he's not doing certain things. But just the type of player he is, it's not going to work anymore. In fact, if you want to be that player, you have to build the whole team around him. And I just don't think he's that good anymore for a manager to even think about building a team around him.
He has his moments though. He has glimpses where
he's still got quality in his game.
100.
That assist against Liverpool in the League Cup. I remember I stood up out of my seat thinking, "What?" And then even recently under Arteta, he stepped up a little bit because
he had a few hot games. From
what I've heard, is Arteta's a manager who doesn't let you slack, and he's not gonna he doesn't put up with that. So I mean, and he said it in interviews as well. He said you're gonna have to step up, the players are gonna have to step up for the team if not.
To be fair to Ozil, though, I feel like his body language has always gone against him. Always. Yeah, and I feel like, in terms of coverage, he covers a lot of the pitch. He covers a lot of kilometers. But it's the way he runs, the way he moves. I think a lot of people are thinking, is he actually sprinting? Is he actually running? It's kind of similar to Pogba, how they used to do with Pogba. Yeah. Pogba's not sprinting, he's not moving a lot. But Pogba covers a lot of distance in the match. I think he covers the most at United.
Yeah, I think Ozil, he does a lot of short. I think Ozil, he does a lot of short sprints to get into areas, pockets of space, but the quality around him to actually get him the ball in the first place isn't there.
Him, yeah.
So then he has to come deeper, and then because he's coming deeper, he's not as influential in the final third. And then after the game, people are like, "Oh, where was Ozil today?" Well, if Ozil said, if you motherfuckers will get me the ball, yeah, then maybe you'll see me about. You get me?
It's true, because to be fair to him, his technical execution when he does get on the ball, it's still up there with the best players in the league. So
don't get me wrong. I don't feel he's as good as he was before, and I think a lot of that maybe just due to deterioration, and I think a lot of it's motivation. Arsenal broke his will to live, because playing them bums must have been flipping. Well, bums relatively, it must have been flipping tiring compared to playing with Real Madrid and Germany. When you go to Real Madrid and Germany, things are patterned compared to Arsenal. And Arsenal almost had a bit of they had quite a lot of transitional stages. Had about 2 or 3 under Wenger, trying to find what works, losing key players. And then in comes Emery. Then Emery tries to pam him out. Emery loses his job. In comes Arteta. So I do feel like Ozil's not a terrible player, but I just don't think he's top 10, and he's probably not even top 20.
Ozil didn't play with Van Persie, did he?
No.
Well,
he would have 8. Ozil would have 8.
Both of them would have 8.
But you're forgetting Ozil. How many assists did he have that season when he almost broke the record when he
19, didn't he? 19 in Jan or something.
And then set pieces to Giroud.
And then
you know what it is?
Back post.
And then Giroud didn't score until May.
3 months. Giroud does. Once Giroud hits his 12, he's done for the season.
I get that in January. I could get that in May. But once you get 12, I've done my job, mate.
He's done, brother. He's done.
Man, as soon as Giroud hits 12, he signs out of Microsoft.
Remember that assist season? I remember because I think he was on 17 by December, which was nuts. It was
that season, crazy. The first half of the season, he was the best player in the Prem. He was first half of the season. Ozil was nuts. I don't know what happened over the Christmas period. I don't know what happened. Was put in his turkey, or maybe it was a poison Yorkshire pudding or something. But when he came back in January, he was crap.
Was that 14? Was that 14, 15? No, I think a 13, 14 season. Wasn't it?
No. It was way later than that. It was way later than that.
I think it was 14. It was either 14, 15 or 15, 16.
It was 14, 15, yeah. I think it was that one.
So that was where we were at the start of the season. And I've asked Disu, Meads, and Sebi to send their current top 10 in the Premier League. Tell you guys where we're at. 10th, Kante. 9th, Rash.
Whose list is this?
This is the combination of Disu, Meads, and Sebi. So they've sent one.
So I have to pay for certain man's crimes.
Yeah. So,
no. Say mine. Solo dolo.
everyone wants me to say their individual lists, yeah?
I ain't putting my brand behind Kante in the top 10.
Kante is not top 10.
All right, Disu.
No.
So Disu's list: Van Dijk 10th, Aubameyang 9th, Bernardo Silva 8th, Kane 7th, Mahrez 6th, Salah 5th, Aguero 4th, Mane 3rd, KDB 2nd, Pogba 1st.
Wait, so is this based on this season?
Yeah,
Right?
this is based on right now. Yes, do it. I'm going to read them out, then we'll talk on it. Just give me time.
Okay.
Sebi's list exactly the same as Disu's. Similar opinions, but rather than Aubameyang 9th, he has got Rashford 9th. Just to run it down, that's Van Dijk 10th, Rashford 9th, Silva 8th, Kane 7th, Mahrez 6th, Salah 5th, Aguero 4th, Mane 3rd, KDB 2nd, and Pogba 1st. And then finally, Meads' list: Kante 10th, Van Dijk 9th, Silva 8th, Kane 7th, Mahrez 6th, Pogba 5th, Salah 4th, Aguero 3rd, Mane 2nd, and KDB 1st. So I'm going to let Alex and Dapo, first of all, give their opinions on those lists that they heard. Dapo looks like he's ready to bite somebody's head off.
Wait, I'm confused how Pogba, when was the last time he played? What, maybe October. He's in all 3 lists, and he's at number 1 in 2 of them.
Well, to be fair, he's at number 1 of 1. Seb just copied me for banter, and to me, I don't. Obviously, what you've done recently plays a part to me. But if you ask me who's the best 10 players, well, let's say if we were in La Liga right now, if we were in La Liga podcast, and Messi missed the whole season, you ain't putting. I'm not saying Pogba's Messi, but you're still putting Messi number 1. Like,
yeah, but I'm not putting Pogba. You're not putting Pogba number 1 in the Premier League, right? Even I've not. I
can hear otherwise. Like if people want to say Mane, KDB, yeah, man can hear that. But I'm not hearing man like Sterling. I'm not hearing man like Ozil. I'm not hearing man like Kante.
Anyone having Vardy in their top 10?
Nah, none of them had.
Do you know what? Vardy was in my first top 10, yeah, but then I got frustrated.
A lot of
You got frustrated.
Yeah, bro.
It
I was
got to him. Head went.
I was bare annoyed, yeah, with something I was doing, yeah, and I was writing out the top 10, and Vardy was there in that. That's my guy in that, and I just thought, scrap it. Let me just copy Disu for Bants, and then take out Aubameyang and put Rashford. Because Rashford is always in my top 10, regardless of what, regardless of anything. What if you ask me now, top 10 La Liga players, I'm putting Rashford there. Say Germany, I'm putting Rashford there. What? Yeah, I mean, regardless, my boy MR10 is gonna be in the list. It doesn't matter, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about Vardy, but I actually think Maddison's a better player personally. So I don't.
Really?
Yeah,
Madison is a better player.
Madison's one of the few players that was pushing my top 10. I was thinking, should I include Maddison?
Okay, what?
That's what I'm saying. Over Grealish.
It's a hard one, though. It's a hard one because Grealish is also hard.
Sorry. Vardy does his job better as a striker than my man does as a 10.
I don't like that argument.
Well, whether that's just for me, Vardy is one of the best strikers in the league, clear as day.
Madison's one of the best attacking midfielders in the league, clear as day.
Who cares? There's not that many.
There's not that many.
There's not that many are playing 10. He's not even playing 10 anymore. He's not even playing attacking midfielder.
That's what they want to best attacking midfielders. Yeah, but he's an attacking midfielder, attacking man midfielder. He's better than Bear. Better than Bear of them.
What I will ask,
Pogba and KDB. That's it.
What I will ask is, when people ask for a top 10, let's start from there. Let's have a understanding of what it means to people, because Dapo's coming from the perspective that Pogba hasn't played this season, so he shouldn't be in the top 10. If he wasn't it, he should be near the bottom. This is coming from the perspective that he's much more concerned about how much ability he feels a player has. So less about what have you done for me recently, and it's more about what I know you can do. So going around the room, speaking to Meads and Alex, when you hear top 10, where do you lean more to? What you've done for me recently, or what I know you can do?
For me personally, I would say is what I know you can do. Is what I know. If you're fit, you're starting. I know this is what you're capable of. If you're capable of 50 or 100, I know this is what you're capable of. I'm not gonna base my top 10 list of best players in the Premier League on form. On he's injured. He hasn't played this season. He hasn't done this. Like, I don't care if he's got a bad attitude. Is he the best player in the league or not? You know what I'm saying? That there's nothing. I don't think that form now or like what your current situation doesn't define you. I know that's cheesy, but hey, you know what I'm saying?
Hit them with a young Tumblr quote.
Think about it. Word. But no, serious though. Like, I just think that's a bit like that sounds to me like you're just trying to fit someone that you think is doing well now into the top 10 best players. But really and truly, when it comes down to it, who's the Galacticos of the Prem? Let's just be real.
That's what you're saying. Go on, Dapper.
You say that, then you have to look at you can't put Ozil out of it. Then if you're saying that, because we know what Ozil can do, but he's not doing.
But we knew what Ozil could.
We know what because you talk about natural ability and that there's players all over the country who are unbelievable, but they may not be showing it. Like I'm thinking about Ravel Morrison. From what I've heard from people when he was at West Ham United and Man United, I've heard he was unbelievable. But obviously he's had an up and down career. He's at Sheffield United now and on loan at Middlesbrough. He's not shown it. But you're saying the same about Pogba. I think Pogba's a great player. I've said it before, he's sick, but he's not at the minute, he's not showing it. So I can't consider him in the top 10 in the Prem.
The Boo Boys will say you can't win a Ballon d'Or on hypotheticals. That's what the Boo Boys would say.
But what I will say, I hear it entirely, and that's why people say I'm quite harsh on Pogba. But the difference between the Pogba and Ozil situation, though, is that Pogba. I think Pogba shows you stuff throughout a season, every season, in my opinion. Ozil hasn't really shown you much for what, 2-3 years? I don't think that's enough to really get him in there.
Certain man are saying 5 years, but that's just me, though.
Heavy still. I don't know what road that is. I don't know what street that is. The streets ain't telling me that, but.
So what would you be leaning? So what would you be leaning more towards, Mead? What you've done for me recently, or what I know you can do?
It's a combination of the two. It's a bit.
Would you be split down the middle?
Yeah, not down the middle. My weighting is more towards what you can do. It's always going to be more towards what you can do. But you need to be showing it consistently and frequently recently. So it's all about that. I don't feel like you can get away with 3 years ago he used to ball out, so he's a baller. No.
Okay.
Not for me, nah.
Question for the two of you. Sorry, Alex. Question for Disu and Mead. Neither of you had Mahrez in your lists at the start of the season. So I'm interested in the turnaround that has brought him within your top 10 in record time, some would say.
Do you know my list, yeah? I can't lie, I was just like, I just didn't feel comfortable putting him in there because he wasn't playing and that. And I should have put him in because even Coutinho, was Coutinho still there at that time? No, he might not have been.
It wasn't.
Okay, there's certain players that I just always feel like they're just better than everybody else.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I was like, he's at City. He hasn't really. But I should have put him in. And
you say one rule for Mahrez, one rule for Pogba.
No, because Pogba still plays 9, regardless he plays. So let's not. Yeah, Pogba actually plays.
Interesting.
Mahrez not playing.
I like that one.
That's a good one still, Mariah. I respect
that one.
No, that's not true because Pogba actually plays. No, but because Mahrez wasn't playing, actually he was fit, but he wasn't playing. But I know I should put him in because I've always been a massive fan of Mahrez, and then just seeing him play again, like this season started to play, it just reminded me of how much I loved watching Mahrez play.
Yeah,
it's the fake shots, the ball roll.
Bro, it's so mad, yeah. The thing is, as a defender, you're like, he can fake me, so I have to stay on my feet.
Yeah, I have to take it. Yeah.
If I don't fall for the fake, his left foot is a wand, and he might just clap it top corner. So it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't type situation, and he will fake it. Go to his right, cut back to his left, go back to his right again, and before you know it, you're doing the splits, cuz he's a mad baller. So yeah, that was my thing. And the way he's been playing this season, he's just been too nuts. And I think he's been City's second best player behind
KDB.
Behind behind the Winter Soldier.
Yeah. And how about you, Meads? You didn't have Mahrez in your top 10 either.
No, but I've always been a big fan of Mahrez. I always said Mahrez over Sanchez from day dot. I'm just gonna say it. Just give myself my fucking flowers. You know what I'm saying? But facts are, I'm shameless. But Mahrez has always been one of my favorite players. However, again, just echoing what Disu said, if you're not playing again, so it's a combination of the two. If you're not showcasing, especially at that level, because there was a lot of question marks whether he could step up from Leicester into Man City.
Big for small ponting.
Exactly, and because he wasn't, I wouldn't say he was fully integrated last season, because he was barely, I wouldn't say he was used often enough, especially for his ability, but I don't think he fully made the transition properly, I guess. So then, once you're doing at the top level, again, you have to think, I try and weight players quite differently. So if you're at the top level and you're showing out and you're playing consistently and you're showcasing your talent, then I think I'll give you a bit more of a weighting than if you're at the Leicesters and you're doing bits there. I know that's a bit weird, but I think at the top level, there's a lot more different pressures. Obviously, you're fighting for your place as well, and you're fighting and challenging for titles. It's just, I think there's a different level of pressure and consistency required at that level. And especially when you're trying to adapt to Man City and Pep's demands, I wanted to see if he could do it. So that's why I wasn't really sure if I'm going to pull him up there. But for me, I think this season especially, he was definitely City's second best player, for me personally. And I think he's fucking cold. Honestly, I think he's absolutely mad player. But
Cool.
yeah, so that's why he was missed. And again, even now, I probably think, it was a bit of a mad omission, because Mahrez is cold.
Yeah, it was
A faux pas, as you would say.
100%. A faux pas.
Dapo and Alex, none of the three guys have Sterling in their top 10. What do you think of that?
Yeah, rightly so. I don't think Raheem Sterling is top 10 best players in the Premier League. I feel like it would have been a very rushed decision to put him top 10 best players in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's had a good 2 years. Amazing. He's had a good 2 years, and I'm happy for him, because I definitely want him to do well. And like, after the Liverpool thing, I want him to just smash up Liverpool, like win everything. Like, if we're not winning it, I don't mind Sterling winning it. But you know what I'm saying? So, like, but at the same time, man, he's not top 10 players in the league. And yeah, he had a fantastic year, won the league, but he's not top 10 best players ability-wise. Maybe form-wise, but not ability-wise. No way.
But do you think, though, in terms of ability as well, though?
Yeah.
Because we were having this discussion the other day. Do you not think that maybe the way City play almost hampers, well, not necessarily hampers, but it restricts him from showcasing his ability often? Because
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I was arguing with Disu that, look, I don't think Sterling's like a fantastic dribbler. I don't think he's a great dribbler. I think he's like a good dribbler. I don't think he's like standing you up and battering you 1v1 all this. I don't think that he's got it. But Disu was like, he does. And I'm like, well, maybe that's because of the way they play. And I think it might be true. I think maybe, although City gets the best out of him in terms of productivity and being efficient, but in terms of him showcasing his all-round ability, is that probably the best place for him to do it? Maybe
the thing
not.
is, though...
What about Leroy Sané?
Ooh, hello. Question for you all.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. How far is Sané off from your top 10?
Not that far.
I mean, he's not far.
That far at all.
Not that far.
Sané is one... I always said Sané is better than Sterling. That's always been my stance.
100%.
I mean, I think you talk about Salah and Sterling. Like, me and Salah. Alex knows that when it comes to Salah, I'm not really, because I don't see what everyone else sees with Salah.
Sorry?
Like,
wow, hello, hot takes.
People comparing.
I love when the game.
I like this kind of food. This kind of food, I like it still.
Sorry.
I like this kind of food.
I have to stop that, because I was browsing.
Break this down, because obviously Alex would have heard about this a lot more than we would have. So break it down for us from the genesis. You're not rating Salah, yeah?
I have Sterling and Sané above Salah any day of the week.
Okay.
Why?
Is that because of the ability?
Why?
Is that
because technically they're better? I think they're better players and they offer more for you. Salah scores goals. That's purely, and fair enough. That's what you have to do in football. I mean, if I could score the goals Salah did and the amount of goals Salah did, I'd be happy. Do you know what I mean? But if you're comparing him to a Sterling or Sané, like I think they offer you more. Salah's just, for me, just and it's part of the way Liverpool play. Is just wingers just run, and then Firmino off them, and then they score goals. But,
so you'd rather have Sterling as your main player than Salah?
yeah,
Interesting.
I'd rather have Sterling. I think Sterling offers you more.
Interesting.
I think Sterling is a lot more malleable, and you could kind of adjust him, and you can get different things out of Sterling. So
Swiss
if you
Army
want him to create, so if you want him to create, I think Sterling's capable of doing that. That's not to say Salah ain't a creator, because Salah create chances. Salah creates a lot of chances.
Yeah, I
He's
think
a better creator than both of them.
his creative side is underrated.
Well, then
Salah's a very good creative player, but I don't think Salah is the kind of guy that will build play. I think Salah can do like the end of move passing, the dinks in behind the crosses. But I think if you drop Sterling deeper, I think you'll be able to bust lines comfy. I think you'll be able to do that comfy. Because even at Liverpool, when he was playing all different positions, he was comfy everywhere. Everywhere. So I could see what you're saying in terms of that. But I think Salah, I give him a lot of stick because it was compared to certain man, innit? But not too much because he ain't my boy no more. He's at Real Madrid.
Your boy's Madrid.
No, my boy's like, he's in foreign lands, bro. He's in foreign lands. He's handling it over there.
Man telling me 130 million pound per goal so far.
He's handling things overseas. Don't worry. He's handling things overseas.
My gripe with Salah, really, I feel like he's trying to play like a you see how Ronaldo plays now? It's just about the goals more time. Like he's about the staying up top and just getting everything to him, scoring. I feel like Salah's let it get to his head. Like he had a fantastic season, but he's let it get to his head that listen, I just want to score goals. Like leave me alone. I don't want to track back. People say he tracks back and that, but how much ground does Salah really cover?
Salah doesn't track back. Nor should he.
Nor should he. Why should he?
No, but that's the thing.
He shouldn't. But at the same time.
But don't use that as he works hard kind of angle. Don't do that. Don't do that because he doesn't.
Host, can I stick up for Salah here? Can I stick up for Salah here?
Do whatever you like, Governor.
Yeah, because I feel like man are talking crazy on
bro. I rate Salah. He's hard. Salah is hard.
Man are talking crazy on WizKids internet, yeah?
Yeah, man. Hey, make sure you vote for WizKids tonight, yeah? Yeah? Make sure.
You are led by me, sir.
Yeah, that's a real king of dancehall as well, bro.
Yeah, go on, Disu. So you're sticking up for Salah.
Sebi's background is fun.
Yeah, but I think first of all, Salah's if we're comparing Salah, Sane, and Sterling, first of all, I don't think all three of them. None of them are elite dribblers to me. I think the best dribbler out of all three is probably Sterling.
Sane, and that's
Sane is beating his man more than Sterling is on the record.
Some of you are saying Sane, some of you are saying Mane. Can we choose which one we're talking about? Or we can be talking about both.
Sane makes a quick yard and pans it across the box for Gabriel Jesus to tap it in. Good to you, well done. I respect him, yeah. But no. But Salah, first of all, Salah is a proper clappers. And Salah, what I like about Salah, he could play various ways. People just think he's sick at getting in behind. That's how Liverpool play, as that's illustrated. They get their two forwards in behind, and then Firmino drops deep, which kind of brings the defenders up, and then you could get them two in behind. Liverpool like to play direct, straight from the back, whether it's Van Dijk or the two fullbacks. But also, what's sick about Salah is that he can pin a man. He's very good at holding the ball up. He's very strong, and also his movement is sick. And the way he could generate different shooting styles, he's got that smasher. He can dink the keeper. He can he's got that little finesse thing where he just rolls it to the side of the keeper, or he can curl it from distance. Like he's got a variety of finishes, and also he's now 3 consistent seasons of very high volume goal scoring. No, 4 seasons. Well, I'm not sure we're gonna avoid this season. You get me? I don't even know. I don't really care. But he's got 4 seasons basically of high production from that right midfield position. And I think he has more impact on the football game than Sane and Sterling by a big difference. Big difference.
That's a big myth. Maybe goals, yeah? I think there's a big... Sane, you're bugging. You are bugging.
Sane's going to go Germany, yeah? Sane's going to move away from Pep's system where you start day one and you only have 10 goals and 10 assists from day one. You'll see. One thing with Sane, yeah? One thing that I don't think you could probably take away from him is his impact in games. Sane is very, very quiet in games, you know?
Sane's very quiet.
I'm
No.
pulling you up for that, sir.
Sane is
He's a man that games
quiet.
can go by him, man.
Hold on. I'm gonna say this. You can say, okay, he can have a bad game where things are just not going well for him. Cool, but he's very, very
quiet as well.
You won't see. There's not that many games. No, but there's not that many games where you watch Sane play and you think, oh, where's Sane? There's not that many because Sane is always getting.
I've seen him.
Like what? Like where?
You want me to name games?
But they've been memorable. No. The thing is, like I'm saying, they've been memorable. I'm just saying. For me, Sane is very much an impact.
I will say something though. Yeah, the streets love a streets will never forget type baller. What I mean by that is a lot of times aesthetics over actual substance. So all the stuff that leads up to damaging a team, but not necessarily actually damaging a team. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if you're talking about maximum damage, yeah, you talk about influence, you're talking about a man like Salah. Right? Yeah. He's occupying his side of that team's defense for 90 minutes. They have to account for him. Between the centre-back and the left-back, between them, they have to account for Salah for the whole time he's on the pitch.
Of course, because
Sane or Sterling don't have that influence. They don't shift defenses like that. They don't shift defensive like that. He's a matchup problem. He's a matchup problem.
Did you not see what Sane did to Liverpool? They were shook of him, you know.
We talk about Champions League?
No, in the Prem.
Okay,
last season.
Did you see what Salah did to Man City?
What, this season?
Not this season. I saw he scored against them this season.
This is what I'm saying. I think if Salah doesn't score, you don't really think about him in the game. You think about Mane more. You think about Mane more.
Facts. That's facts. You'll think about
that's absolutely
that's
facts. What you mean? Oh my days! Oh, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Wait, hold on. Let me.
This is taking a look.
This is better than the King of Egypt. I grabbed him by the scuff of the neck. They talk about the King of Egypt.
No, I don't think Sterling's better than Salah. No way.
What do you say? If Salah doesn't score, he does less on the game. So what? So the decision on how much he's done in the game is made at the end of the 90 minutes, depending on if he scored or not, yeah?
Listen,
but a lot of the time, other players are getting space on the pitch because the defense are preoccupied by Salah.
Yeah, but
how do you account for that?
But the players get the space.
That's the difference.
The players get the space, and he don't pass. Like, you see, the only thing with Salah, the only thing I say with Salah, is that he's too one-track minded. Like his first thought is, fam, I don't know how, but I need to create the space and I need to shoot. I don't know how. Which is absolutely mental, because the amount of chances that he fluffs up trying to do this same thing of, I don't know how, but I need to create the space. And then when he does pass it sometimes, it's, because the player's so close, I've passed it. But then my say like Mane or whatever isn't in the same position that he would have been to score. So as an actual football player himself, I don't think he offers much. Like, again,
just 30 goals a season.
No, goal scoring, cool, whatever. But as in, cool, if we're comparing footballers and an actual ability, I don't think he's got more ability than that Sane.
Let's talk about it. Who's got the best touch out of Sterling, Salah, and
Sane?
Sane.
Yeah, Sane.
You don't come to cap like this. Oh my God.
Sane.
What's because he's got less match?
I think Sane's been injured too long. This is you've forgotten.
That's what I'm saying. Sane, he's been out of the picture too long for you to be saying this.
He's been out for too long.
When he goes to Germany, if Coleman puts him on the bench.
Who put him on the bench?
If that brother with a ponytail puts him on the bench.
No way.
There is no way, bro. There is no way.
I'm telling you, if Sane goes to Germany, Coleman's leaving.
He's turning into Dembele.
What, Sane's in? I'm off. What, Sane's coming in? I'm cutting.
Coleman is in the money, bro. Coleman's like that charity caps. He gets charity caps for France, bro. I'm telling you.
Charity caps. No cap is a charity cap.
Ask Anthony Martial. He's buying, that's it. No more caps. He's in the money.
Cool.
No, Deschamps is tapped, Whatever happened during starting?
The France national team setup is we don't want to talk about that.
We won't speak on it, yeah? these guys had VVD, like an average across the three guys. Van Dijk came in at 9th. For you, Alex and Dapo, is that too high, too low?
I mean, it's hard though. It's probably because he's defender. So defenders always end up
They're
with
always
that.
going to be low.
I can't even lie to you, that I didn't want to put him in.
Or you just you didn't want no heat from the Boo Boys, yeah?
No, I
think,
love the Heat, but like he is sick enough that as a defender he can make my top 10 because he's that sick.
the thing that I rate about him is, and the thing that what makes him such a good defender is he's created this fear factor, this aura. So before you even get on the pitch, it's there. It's in the back. No, and this is what I'm saying. No, this is the thing, because I've only seen 3 players. I can off the top of my head 3 players who have gone on the pitch and attacked him with no fear: Pepe, Gabriel Jesus, and Rashford.
No! Don't do that to my brother from Watford. I forgot his name.
Oh my days!
Let's
not
do that to my brother.
Let's not.
You tried to sneak in Pepe there.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that bum.
Hey,
I've been easy on Pepe, but you know my thing with Pepe, bro. Oh, let's not.
Think about,
think about it. Think about it.
Pepe in that game against Liverpool at Anfield, he was running at him, and I could see for the first time in the Yabala, I was like, "Ooh, Van Dijk, you're on the back foot, backpedaling in that."
Is that one highlight? You know, that one highlight. That's gonna be his. That's gonna be his career.
One dribble,
That's gonna be his career. People don't mention nothing came out of that.
Did you know Sky Sports?
That also Barcelona.
We go Sky Sports and say, "Oh yeah, 5 titles." Pepe be like, "What's made Van Dijk backpedaled in August 2019?"
After his plethora of trims.
Yes, sir. I like that.
Cool. All right, so with that being done, I want to get into our team of the year discussion. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go across the positions, 4-4-2, because that's what they tend to go with. And we'll stop anytime there seems to be multiple players mentioned for position. So we're going to start with the goalkeeper. Alex and Dapo seem to have a bit of a back and forth before you guys got here. So I'm quite interested to hear who Alex has as his goalkeeper.
Yeah.
My goalie. Well, okay. Let me give you the prelogue to what happened. Basically, I called him this afternoon. I said, "Daps, who you putting in as a goalie for your top 10? I mean, for your starting 11." And then he gave me his options, and I said to myself, I was thinking about, I could put Dubravka, I could put Henderson, I could put who else was I thinking about?
Alisson?
No, I didn't consider him at all. Because yeah, that's just
You missed a lot of games, to be fair.
Yeah, like Alisson is I'm trying to do this with anyway, I don't want to waffle. I picked Dean Henderson.
Okay.
And I'm pretty happy with that. Made the second most saves in the league, or the most saves, or something like that. Obviously, you would say weak defense, but at the same time, exactly why I'm going to give it to him, because the defense is not the best. Sheffield United are top 7 or top 8. They've come from the Championship. He has all this pressure on his shoulders to take over De Gea next season or the next 2 seasons. So he has to perform
this season, please.
Yeah, amen. But so I'm giving it to Dean Henderson.
That would be crazy if Dean Henderson outs De Gea at United.
Who's your keeper, Dapo?
Well, I was as I said, I was talking to Alex, and mine was between, for me, Dean Henderson and Leno, who I think's been one of the best players for Arsenal this season.
Yeah.
And as a goalkeeper,
I'm just gonna black out my screen for a bit. Keep talking though.
As a keeper, Leno for me is one of the best, and he's top because the amount of saves that he's made that are very top saves that I think are who else in the Premier League.
And the season before. Wait, did Emery get sacked this season?
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah, beginning of the season, there are certain games that you lot were like skirting past, where teams were peppering your goal.
Yeah.
That was this season, yeah.
To be fair, I want to be harsh on Henderson. Not Henderson. I want to be harsh on Leno because he gets through so much work and he has made mistakes, but that's because he probably gets through too much work.
Yeah.
But he's a solid keeper, man.
But his mistakes. I think his mistakes come from the way that Arsenal have tried to play in certain situations. So I remember the last game I went to was the Olympiacos one when he's got the ball and he passed it out for a corner and they scored. And do you know what I mean? That was criminal. And then I remember all the other times under Emery when they're playing out from the back and the Arsenal fans boo him every time he looks to pass it.
Yeah.
and they cheer it when he kicks it.
That was top 5 days in our group chat ever.
Oh, well,
Yes.
that's what I'm saying. No, bro. Oh, you know that day, yeah? No one even thinking anything's happened. Man jumped in the group chat like around 10:30.
Oh
and I just
my
see
god.
Mariah and Means go back to back. I was like, oh, what's going on here? I said, I might have put on my glasses, scrolling through, and it's just voices of laughter. I said, Arsenal lost. Hey, bear in mind, the group chat is 12 man, 8 Arsenal fans. Are you 2 man active? I said, okay. Oh, what a day.
We were going back to back for hours, bro.
Oh, my day.
Means, who was your goalkeeper?
My goalkeeper's Henderson.
Henderson as well. Okay.
It's quite simple and easy for me. He's been class. And when I watch him, like, because Sheffield United have been on our case, you know, like Chelsea have been fourth like most of the season, but Sheffield United have been local, and I've been watching them because I've been shook. I can't lie. I've been watching Sheffield United.
Wow, how the mighty have fallen, eh?
I've been thinking around, like, if they sneak into the top 4, it's a bit sticky for Frank. But yeah, Henderson's been doing, and he did the faker saves. Fake. I can't, like, set pieces, where they're getting panned on set pieces, opposing team always gets a header in. Bang. He drops down and gets low. He's sick. He's a proper sick keeper. So yeah, Henderson for me.
Cool.
Comfy.
Seb, what keeper have you gone with?
I'm going with my boy Hendo, man. Come on, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And Disu?
I said Alisson, but I'm not very best with keepers, so I was like, who's the best?
Yeah, I was quite interested to see who you'd say, right? I'm saying Peter Schmeichel.
Man might even say Wizkid, bro. We don't even know.
Certain man were gonna say Schmeichel still. Yeah. Certain man, but I'm not gonna bait them out, innit? But it wasn't me that said that, innit? But I know who said it, innit?
Hey, I mean, you can't. Leicester, they're third in the league, and they've been sick most of the season. So,
boy, yeah. Swiftly moving on. So, right back. So we're gonna go with Henderson in goal. I think that one's pretty clear. Right back, Dapper. Who you got?
I've gone with Trent.
Got Trent.
It's hard to overlook him, really. I mean, he's got how many 12 assists from right back this season. So, and he's in the team.
Man, I say 10 corners though.
Assist. I mean, so you can't really overlook Trent.
Seb.
Yeah, definitely Trent, man. I have to respect it. Can't be shameless.
You know, with you can never be too sure.
You can never tell, mate. I'm not even gonna lie. You can never tell. You can never tell.
Even you were
Mate,
sure.
I was thinking. I was like, should I? I was like, should I? But no. I got to
go down the path of the righteous. I respect that.
I got to respect it.
Alex, who's your right back?
If that's shameless, then I'm the most shameless man. Ricardo Pereira.
Okay.
I feel like most tackles in the Prem. I know, again, we're gonna say weaker team, obviously, but man, that guy is solid, up and down. Anything he can do it. Trent ain't got the defensive for me, so yeah. And
also with Ricardo Pereira, obviously Trent has a lot of impact going forward, but Ricardo Pereira can actually dribble and beat players. Yeah, he's like really good at that. He's a sick person.
Could be a winger.
Cool. Dipsy, who's your right back?
Oh, Trent. All day. Trent's nuts. Trent's bonkers. Now, do you know what it was for me? Yeah, like I liked Trent, yeah, but I was like, oh, he's getting bare plaudits. But you know when somebody from the up block is getting plaudits, it doesn't really sit right with me, innit? But then it was when they play City, yeah, the things Trent was doing with the ball, there was a 12-minute, there was like a 15-minute stretch in the first half, yeah, where he hit 5 passes, yeah, that were just done. He hit one on the half bounce with his left foot, outside right foot on a half bounce. I'm like, nah. This kid is taking liberties. The way he strikes the ball, he's too different. That's one of my favorite players in the Prem right now. Trent, cool. He's sick.
Meads.
I'm gonna say Pereira. That's not because I think Trent's amazing again going forward, but I think as a right back, and yes, you expect you want something going forward. Yeah, some quality going forward, and Trent's got that in spades, no doubt about it. But defensively, man, nah. I've seen him get fist up way too much. Ignore it. Like I can't ignore it. It's like every other game I see him get fist up. I can't ignore that. Like, look, I respect what he does on a technical level, yeah, and going forward, nuts. He's absolutely nuts. despite the fact like 8 of his assists have come from set pieces. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. But defensively, no.
How many
Defensively,
Reece James got though?
he got more assists than that, brother. Take it. Man does his job still.
Which ones of you are having?
We talk. Pereira for me.
Right. So it's 3-2. Question: which ones of you are having Trent down as generational, as we've heard being said on?
Not me.
No.
What? Because he can whip crosses in from 70 yards. Nah, man, I'm not on this generational team, bruv.
Speaking of whipping crosses for 70 yards, when they came to Old Trafford, Trent was taking them.
He was taking a piss.
Trent was crushing it from the Trafford Centre. He didn't give a fuck.
Trent was taking a piss.
Spamming in crosses from all over the pitch, bruv. Like he was looking excursion.
No. Speaking of Trent, yeah, just a quick diversion. Yeah. Did you see when Michael Dapper was speaking to Trent about if Sancho does him up in training? And Trent was round. And Trent was round. So Michael Dapper was like, yeah, what do you think of Sancho? And then it was like, Trent was like, yeah, he's a good player, very, very good player. Michael was like, do you think what would you want him to come to Liverpool? It's like, yeah, like it's like he's a very, very good player, like basically saying he would fit in Liverpool. And then Michael Dapper was like, what, does he do you up in training? And then Trent was like, no. He's faithful at Mercy. Was like, no. And Michael Dapper was like, are you sure? Yeah. And Trent Lacker's gonna cry. Trent Lacker's gonna cry. He's like, no, definitely leave. Like, you see the videos? You see the videos? No, it's hilarious. Still,
bad day.
So we'll go with Trent. We'll go with Trent at right back, just about. Centre back. Dissu, who have you got as your first centre back?
I've got Van Dijk, and I had a question mark on my second one because I don't know who and I don't care. So yeah, Van Dijk.
For Dissu, Alex, who's your first centre back?
Virgil van Dijk.
Meads.
Van Dijk. There's no debate on that one.
Dapper.
Yeah, same. Unanimous, I'm guessing.
And Seb.
Maguire.
He's capping. There's no way he picked Maguire. There's no way. He's capping. No way.
No, joking. Still Van Dijk.
That's shameless. No
I'm
way.
more interested is who's gonna partner Virgil at the back. Mies, who did you have as a centre back partner?
You see, I can't lie. This is a hard one, but Porte, because he got injured though, I can't give it to him because he came back and he looked good, then he got injured again. So I'm just like, I can't really have him. But who has impressed me? I forgot his name though. Sionchu.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have that. Yeah, that's stuck in
He was sick. He was sick up until about Jan, and then he kind of fell off a little bit.
All them man, basically, do you know FIFA has got live seasons? Yeah. All them man on live seasons from January just went down to 65.
Yeah, man.
I don't know what's been happening to Leicester.
But Sionchu, class. He's different class for me.
Yeah.
Dominant, physically dominant, quick, and reads the game well, and can pass. Nah, he's sick. He's definitely 23, 24. Yeah.
23. Yeah, he's ridiculous.
Alex, who's your second centre back?
Soyuncu, bro.
Soyuncu.
I picked Soyuncu. Yeah.
Dapper.
Yeah, it was between Soyuncu and Evans for me, but I think I chose Soyuncu.
Evans has been sick as well.
Evans has been good as well, yeah.
Now you know the defenders, Dissu, yeah? Sebi, who's your partner for VVD?
Yeah, it's got to be Maguire, man. Got to be Maguire.
Why has it got
last 10 games of the season, absolutely crazy. Whereas Sionchu kind of fell off. And if I'm being real, Leicester fell off, Sionchu fell off. Maguire stepped up last 10 games of the season, 8 clean sheets. Solid big game performances as well. If you look at the teams we played in the last 10 games,
big game against who? Because
City? What?
So you telling me in those games he wasn't getting twist up?
Boy, last 10 minutes of those games. Last 10 minutes of those games.
Last 10 minutes of a 90-minute game.
10 minutes of the 90 minutes, man, when it really counts, bro. When it really counts.
So why I'm saying that? Because the game changes from when them man are attacking United on the front foot to when United got now they're launching. Now he's just doing his heading
my
thing,
boy, slabhead. That's it, man. Get the balls away.
Oh, you're sick, man. You're
The
sick
thing
guy.
with the thing is with Maguire, though, I think he gets away with so much shit, bro. Like, honestly, he gets away with so much.
I don't think he does. I don't think he does, man. Man United fans are on Maguire. Maguire has not rested all season.
Good. Can you
Yeah,
understand it,
Man
bro?
80
United fans are
million.
on him.
80 million, mate.
Nah,
That's
he
it,
scares.
innit?
He's a scary defender. Very scary. that
Bro,
guy.
he scares me, B.
When he's 1-on-1, I have 20% confidence that guy's gonna do something.
Did you see what that Mousset brother was doing to him for Sheffield United, cuz?
Fist him up.
What
Fist him
Mousset
up.
and them man were doing? Don't put it, fam.
Musso's backing in, set, spin off. Yeah, dirty.
Running it down
Disgusting.
the channels. That performance from Lindelof, Jones, and Maguire, I'll never forgive all three of them for that performance, bruv. When Mousset was slapping all three of them man up, one man up, no whack, just one man up, just slapping everybody up. Nah,
You hate to see it.
I
And
hate to see it still.
And who's your defender, Disu?
I already said that, Sionku.
Oh,
I jump on the wave.
All right, cool. At left back, Seb, who's your left back?
Left back. That's interesting. Probably Andrew Robertson, man. He's one of my favourite left backs.
Yeah.
Can't fault him for the season. He's been consistent. Yeah.
Two-way defender. Meads, who's your left back?
I said two-way, man. I said Kawhi.
Yeah, Robertson for sure.
Dapper?
Yeah, Robertson for sure.
Alex?
Yeah, Robbo.
And Disu?
Yeah, he's cold. He's the best.
After
Pagan, no?
seeing Morris twist up Chilwell at the Etihad,
His blood is still twisted
No,
to this day.
that was ridiculous.
They say his
That
blood
was
is still
actually
twisted as we
ridiculous.
speak.
Bro, the
That
thing
was
is,
bad.
with Chilwell, there was a lot
That
of
was
talk
bad.
about him. And I was just like, all right, let me do my due diligence. So deep dive, start watching him again.
Man, I saying 60 bags.
No, to be fair, yeah. See the thing with my boy Chile and that he's had a bad 6 months. He's had a bad 6
How
months.
long is the season?
No. I'm saying even in regards to like last season.
9 months.
Last season he was sick, and then the first half of this season he was sick. He's had a bad 6 months, which is like his first bad spell. But other than that, man, my boy Chile's good still.
No. Even last season,
I'll take him.
Like, I think in the summer, was he linked with Chelsea? I think he was linked with Chelsea. Not even in the summer, not linked with Chelsea, but I think they were talking about him getting done for January, right? And then Leicester fans were just like, have him. Have him. Because they're done with him. They think he's dead, bro. They think he's dead. And
He strikes me as another Luke Shaw.
Against defensively, no. I need look. So with Trent, yeah, you could forgive his defensive frailties because what he gives you going forward, not many give you. But Chilwell, he doesn't give you much going forward, and defensively, he gets fist up all the time. So I'm not having it. People talk. Mahrez made him look like an absolute. I don't want to start swearing, but made him look like an absolute bum.
As you can see from my background.
You really got the background game on lock, boy.
Nah, he's got it on lock.
Cool. Let's get.
Hey, Mahrez said, "I sit down, bro."
Let's get onto our midfield now. So we'll start on. I mean, most teams play with 3 midfielders, so it's going to be interesting to see what you guys come up with. On the right hand side of midfield, your right wing, if you would. Who have you got, Seb?
Right wing.
I love Seb. He's doing it now.
No. Do you know what it is? Yeah. Do you know what it is? Because you know what it is like. Adama has been amazing on the right this season, isn't it?
Okay.
So he's got my full respect.
Adama, yeah.
So yeah, I might have to just.
I mean, if we're doing a most improved team, he gets in it for me. But right, mate.
Gets it.
Okay, so who you putting on your right hand side then? Dapper?
Morris, he's right there on the screen.
Morris for Dapper. Alex?
Yeah, right wing, I got Mahrez 100%.
Mahrez, Meads?
Mahrez. Second best season.
Oh, since we're not doing 4-3-3, because I had Mane in the right of mine, but I'll go Mahrez with the rest of the boys.
I did 4-3-3 as well.
So it's Mahrez there. Seb, you're making your case for Adama. Feel free to finish. Dapper's calling him most improved. What are you saying, Seb? P&P, yeah?
No. I just feel like he's been really, really good this season. I ain't gonna lie. Like, obviously they are better players, but if I was going on just players this season and what they've done this season, yeah, I just have to respect Adama. And to be fair, I'm not even his biggest fan, but this season, definitely been most improved, and he's actually been quality. Yeah, so that's why he'd be in the team of this season. But yeah,
Cool. Who is your left-sided midfielder? Disu.
Left-sided. Oh, Mane. Right. Well, don't even ask me. Don't even answer that question because.
Meads.
Come on, B. You know that goes to Sadio, man.
Mane.
You know.
Alex.
Mane.
Dapple.
Yeah, same, Mane.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm ready
especially after watching those documentaries as well.
Yeah, that's my brother. That's my
And
guy.
Seb.
yeah, Mane.
Oh, clean
I'm
sweep.
surprised.
First
I'm
clean
surprised.
sweep.
Mane,
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised.
Don't
I've
be
got something for you,
surprised.
man.
He's got something in the
I've
chamber.
got something for you, man. Don't be surprised. I've
Man,
got something for you, man.
I got something for you lot as well. Still.
Don't be surprised, man.
I got a couple
Yeah.
things for you, man.
Alex
Me
and
too.
Seb has got. Dapple,
You lot
all
are
right.
sick. You know, all three of you are sick.
Okay.
I got something.
Who's our first central midfielder? Disu.
Let's get the one out of the way. Then we got something for you.
Yeah, let's not waste time because the best player in the Premier League right now,
Yeah.
potentially, period, the Winter Soldier, Kevin De Bruyne,
Cool.
aka Mr. Cross and Inshallah himself.
For their first central midfielder, does anybody have anyone else different?
No.
No,
So we can go
respect it.
KBB.
If any, I'm locking off the call.
No,
Is it only two midfielders?
Yeah,
Oh shit! Alright, cool. No,
yeah,
I still got something for you.
that's true.
And who is your second midfielder? We'll start with you, Alex.
I was gonna pick the obvious one, Kovacic, but I feel like everyone's gonna pick that, and I feel like this guy deserves some shine, and I'm gonna go with Buendia.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Get out.
Hey,
Get
kick him
out.
out! Kick him out!
I'm backing him up.
Buendia. You see my boy Buendia, 7 assists in the Premier League.
Man
Come
said,
on.
man talk about people getting shine and that. What? This ain't year 5. What's man saying?
Week in, week out.
Thanks for participating certificates, you know.
There's no
I know he
charity
ain't.
here.
I know he ain't gonna win, but let me throw his name in the mixer.
But he's a baller.
He's a good player. He's a good player.
Baller.
Meads.
Yeah, Kovacic for me.
Kovacic.
Kovacic for me. He's been
Cool.
consistent throughout the season. I would have had Fabinho, but after what Billy Gilmore did to him, I don't really know if I could say that anymore. Kovacic. Say Kovacic still, because that Fabinho brother. I think Henderson even looked better than him for the last 2 months. Nah, we're good.
Stay calm.
No. You know, so crazy. When you said Henderson, this dude's eyes went mad. You know.
Stay calm, cuz. I'm not hearing that.
Activated.
I'm not hearing it. This is the same that type of party, bro.
Cool.
Matters.
How about you, Dapper? Who did you have as your second midfielder?
I have my guy Wilfred and Diddy.
It's been good this
How
season.
do I get out of here?
And Diddy, his numbers are a joke,
Yeah, ridiculous.
Okay.
and they've been a joke for years. So you can't have I can't not have Diddy in the team.
Okay.
He's one of them players that won't get his flowers until he leaves Leicester. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
He reminds me of like when the Drissa Ghana Gay left Everton and went to PSG.
That's what I was going to say.
He's not as good as
Defensive
Gay, though.
all-rounder, 100%.
He's not as good as Gay.
Seb, who you got? That's your
Come on,
second.
man. Look at the screen.
Are you
You know,
serious?
come on, man. McTominay.
Hey!
My boy Scott McTominay. Big boy player. Big boy player. Stepped up when we need him. You know, scored, vital goals for us this season.
He scored like 2 goals.
Yeah, scored vital goals
One
for
in
us
a
this
draw,
season.
one in like a 3-1.
Yeah,
So,
got the best goal, biggest chair of Old Trafford since Fergie left. Yeah, man, McTominay,
how was that
absolutely
metric
solid.
to get into the team of the
Doesn't matter.
season?
Absolutely solid.
How's
Absolutely
that
solid in the
KPI? How's that
midfield.
KPI to get
Absolutely
into the team of the
solid in the midfield.
Didn't he miss
For
like 2
Manchester
months?
United, big boy player.
season? Wasn't he out for like 2 months?
Yeah, don't matter about that. Big boy player. McTominay.
Oh, that's disgusting.
McTominay, my boy.
Oh, wow. Disu, who did you have?
Well, initially I had a 4-3-3, and Kovacic was in mine.
Hold on. Let me just stop for a second. Did you all have 4-3-3s?
Yeah.
I had a 4-2-4.
What? Means that's an FM formation, season 3 on FM.
Yeah, so initially I had Kovacic, but if I had a choice between him and the person I picked, it has to be Maddison. Top player. I just love watching him play. Creative, the way he passed, the way he could split defenses. 6'6" player. I like the swagger he plays in the game. Some of the goals he scored have been quality as well, like the left foot banger against Newcastle. And I think he scored like a really good goal against, was it Arsenal or Spurs? Or it might have been both teams he scored good goals against. So he's a top player. I enjoy watching him play. So he gets the edge over Kovacic for me.
Cool. So I've got 5 different players here. So you guys need to have some sort of community, and we come to a consensus.
4. We get rid of Scott McTominay. We got 4.
Get rid of McTominay.
Okay, so McTominay's out.
Wow.
Yeah, Madison can't make it.
And Buendia, sorry. And
Buendia is better than Madison, though.
Buendia as well.
Which Madison?
Buendia is better than Madison, though.
Which Madison?
No, what is that? Is that why Leicester leveled up? Leicester took Madison from Norwich.
Yeah.
And then Buendia came after him.
Yeah.
And then Buendia's going to go Real Madrid, and Madison's going to go Man United and bum out.
Which Real Madrid basketball?
Real Madrid that signed Eden Hazard, that scored 2 goals in 6 years, in 6 months. That Real Madrid.
65 M's per goal, you know? Wow.
Buendia is one player that people are going to sleep on. And then
you slept on Mane. You slept on these guys.
Buendia is good, but you can't have him in the team of the season.
No,
man said sleep on him. Man sleeping right now. Sleeping right now. Right now, man, I ain't trying to hear no Buendia over Madison. You lot all right? Like, you lot moving like them Shoreditch hipster youths that want to wear like boot cuts and big crepes to be different. Nobody cares, bruv. Yeah, get Buendia and get who's the other that Tommy out of here.
Yeah, it's Kovacic.
No. Then we could discuss Kovacic, Madison, and
Didi.
All 3 of them have valuable. All 3 of them have good shouts. Yeah. That Buendia thing and McTominay thing, I think we should kick them out of the chat personally. But that's I'll do if I was host. I'll kick them out of the chat personally.
No, they're good. They're good.
I think Kovacic. I'll go Kovacic.
I don't know. It's hard because I think Ndidi in that team.
I was really trying to push this. Ndidi for president, you know.
Everyone overlooked him.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, for balance, yeah. If we're having KDB, I'm picking Ndidi. If we're having KDB for balance.
Do you know what? Yeah, is Wizkids are battling tonight, so we must get to the Nigerian, innit? Yeah.
Oh, you got Ndidi. Wow, Ndidi. Yeah. I mean, that's 4 out of 5, so I think Ndidi gets it.
It is what it is, but
that's never happening again, by the way. Lucky, bro.
You do hate to see it, don't you, Meads?
Yeah, you completely. But
and then our final two spots up top. So, who's the first striker? Disu.
Oh, it has to be Aguero.
Does it?
Yeah. Wait, I just thought we don't even have Salah in this thing. That's crazy. But yeah, Aguero.
Okay.
No, Salah getting. Don't worry.
Alex, who's your first striker?
My first one is Jamie Vardy still.
Vardy.
Yes, thank you.
Dapper?
Same, Jamie Vardy.
Seb?
Jamie Vardy.
And Meads?
Vardy.
You lot are sick.
So this is started with, it has to be Aguero.
Vardy hasn't scored since Carnival. What's man talking
about? He scored 2 in his last game. Get out of here.
Oh, say it.
That was a nice one, though.
Where to future? I thought it was a drought. You know
he did. He got injured, and then when he came back, he was rusty and didn't score for about 3-4 games, and then he got injured again. Then came back and then scored 2. Yeah, man.
Hey, I saw at one point he got benched for Kelechi, bro. Allow me,
couple games, 2 games still. Couple games.
Kelechi
came out. Kelechi came off the bench, and I think he got an assist on the goal. So he started in the next game. Then it's Kelechi. And then Vardy was back in. Now, Kelechi's a good youth. Man used to compare him to Rashford, though.
That was wild.
We don't talk too much about that, dude.
Cool. And who is Vardy's strike partner?
Let me go again. Aguero.
You can't. No. You have to give a different name from the name you gave before. You can't give the same name twice.
Oh, fuck it.
Aguero and I'll make it.
Aubameyang.
Aubameyang, Meads.
Salah.
Salah for Meads. Alex.
I went the one and only option I could go. Like you lot said, most improved. His scoring record this season been fantastic. No other option for me, Marcus Rashford.
Scary.
Marcus Rashford, nah, come on, guys. Agenda aside, Marcus Rashford been amazing.
18 pens.
What? What side are you on?
Nah, it's true. It's mad, but mine are Alex, man.
No, if
it's mad. At least you can represent.
If he didn't get injured, I'd have him, but he's been injured.
That injury for me is not enough to stop him from getting my team.
No, Aubameyang. Aubameyang's ahead of him.
I respect it still.
Salah's ahead of him and Aguero's ahead of him.
Dapper, who did you pick?
Aubameyang.
Yeah, smart man.
And Seb.
I'm not going to be shameless, man. Obviously, I'm not going to be shameless, bruv. Yeah, if you check my DP, you know where I am. Rashford. Marcus bloody Rashford, come on, man. My boy Rashty.
Rashford's been amazing.
My favourite player. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
So we have a split here between Aubameyang and Rashford.
Aubameyang is a great finisher, bruv. But come on, man, all round play. He ain't got much on Rashford.
Hold on. Okay, so the record is going to state that you man have picked Rash. As well. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
Aubameyang got 17 league goals. 17 league goals right now.
Yeah, no, I respect these things still. I respect Aubameyang and that, but fam,
isn't he like joint top scorer or second top scorer?
Yeah, no,
if Jamie Vardy was at Arsenal, you'll have 25, bro.
I respect him. I respect Aubameyang. Like I respect him.
If Vardy's at Arsenal, Vardy will have five goals.
I seen Aubameyang's drip and that. Yeah, I respect him. But bruv, like when you talk about Rashford, all round footballer, like come on, man.
The impact they have on each team.
Chalk and cheese, man.
When you say all-round footballer, because it's one of your go-to phrases, Seb, just to break it down for me and for the listeners, I guess.
Yeah.
When you say all-round footballer, can you break down what that actually
means? Simple. He's a better dribbler than Aubameyang, number one. Yep. He's a better passer, creator than Aubameyang, number two.
Sure.
Yep. Okay. Aubameyang's definitely a better finisher. I feel like Marcus Rashford has more variety in his game in regards to like set pieces as well. Aubameyang doesn't have that.
Might as well put in the mixer, you know.
Yeah, put in the mixer.
Has Rashford scored a free kick in the Premier season?
Yeah, Chelsea, the best free kick since Ronaldo.
No, that was a League Cup. That was a League Cup.
Oh,
no, he hasn't scored a free kick in the Prem.
But Aubameyang has, so
yeah, but whose free kick was better? Obviously, come on, man. Let's semantics.
Wait. It's literally not semantics.
Semantics.
This is very clear. We have a Premier League team this season, and you're referring to goals.
Rashford isn't even top 3 strikers in his team.
Oh, are you crazy?
Are you taking a minute?
Listen, don't let me lose it, bruv. Because if I start your boy Martial,
all I'm saying is that the Rashford ain't better than Garno.
The streets are saying that Martial's gonna be a win back.
Listen.
Don't start my boy Rashford.
This is your boy's best striking season, and that's because he's getting a penalty every other
doesn't
working
matter,
day.
bro. The game's
getting
the game.
5 penalties a week.
The game is the game. Listen, I don't care. I don't care if Rashford scored 15 goals and all of them were pens. It doesn't matter, bro.
Of course it would matter. Come on, that's a ridiculous. Again,
no, I don't care. Ridiculous to me. I'm shameless. What do you mean ridiculous? What do you mean it's ridiculous, bro? I love it.
Question. Who scored more non-penalty goals out of Martial?
That's a fake stat. I don't know about that.
It's a fake stat.
I don't know about that stat. I don't know about that stat.
People like Trump.
I don't know about that stat. Hey, at the end of the day, Dapo, you can testify to this, If you're now writing my contract and you say goal bonus, and you say, what? Are they going to say non-pens? Fam, goal bonus is goal bonus, bro. Clap. Do you know what I mean? So simple as that.
I agree, but certain man can't really score when there's penalties. Cause look,
Where I don't mind, bro.
Need a resolution
Hey,
here.
can I
We
just-
need a
Can we
resolution.
make some
Oh,
honorable
by the
mentions?
way, all right, cool. This is the resolution. Yeah, has Aubameyang put in a better performance than Rashford versus Spurs this season in the Prem?
No.
how's that a
Simple as
resolution?
that.
You just decided it was.
Resolution, bruv.
That's not.
Who's put the best performance in the Prem this season?
Them
Rashford or
two,
Aubameyang?
put in the best performance.
Come on,
Rashford or
man.
Aubameyang?
Come on, man. We know who the
Wait,
other.
wait, hold
That's
on.
not. That's
Hold on,
not.
hold
You
on.
can't.
Wait,
Rashford hasn't played for like weeks.
wait, hold on. You lot are putting in Rashford, who's not played for 3 months, and he's only
Fam.
got 14 goals. He's only got 14 goals, 5 of them are pens. Get out of here, man.
Yeah.
Hey.
Lock that conversation. Lock that conversation now, bro.
No,
We're
14
gonna
goals.
Rash, if you, Rash,
He's a goal scorer regardless.
Rash,
No,
Rash,
no,
if Rash, if you're listening to this, it wasn't me, man. It was them, man.
My man's got less goals than Danny Ings. You want to talk? Allow it.
Unless Aubameyang is scoring goals,
That's a
we're
good
not airing
honorable
about
mention,
him.
though. Danny
Yeah, let's-
Ings.
Danny Ings, yeah.
Danny Ings, yeah, who else?
He was on my bench. He was on my bench.
Ings, who else?
Danny Ings for sure.
Who else you got?
Obviously, Salah has to be in there.
Salah.
Salah, obviously.
Why you lot missed
Don't know
him?
how I didn't get in, but man.
Aguero.
Them shamelessness makes me want to send for Rashford. I don't even want to do it, bro. So you need to stop.
Aguero. Okay, let's say we were to do a 4-3-3. We know our keeper. We know our back four. Who would be your lone strikers?
My lone striker
be-
is Vardy.
It'd be Vardy still, right?
Yeah.
Aguero.
Yeah. Okay. Who would be the two guys flanking him on either side? Who would be on the right hand side? If you're doing,
Mane and Mahrez.
Salah.
For me, Mahrez and Mane, man.
who did you say?
No. Oh, that's sticky.
On the right will be Salah for me.
Salah first.
If the team actually had to play, I'm
Mhm.
throwback to that Leicester connection, Vardy and Mahrez. Come on.
So you're going Mahrez, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, because you take away one goal scorer from a striking position, you need another hitter in there, man. Then you got Mane though.
Well, you got Mane though.
Yeah, we get Mahrez in
And you
there.
got big boy Vard. He's getting you 20 goals a season,
Mahrez in
min.
there.
Okay.
Come on.
No, we get Mahrez in there. Fuck
And
it.
then the midfield it sounds like KDB, Kovacic was he getting in anyway? I think he was.
Yeah, Kovacic
Yeah,
and
and then
KDB, yeah.
Didi.
And who was and Ndidi, yeah?
Yeah.
Didi Holden, yeah.
Cool. So I think we'll post tomorrow. We'll
That's
post both of these teams on the account, and we'll see which one wins the vote. So your honourable mentions were Danny Ings, Salah, Aguero.
Rashford.
Rashford.
I don't quite get the Aguero honourable mention.
Why?
Because it seems like this was the only one who voted for him.
No, but I mean,
honorable mention. You have
No,
to
because
respect-
how many strikers are you not putting in your honourable mentions? Come on,
bro.
because most of you. Because
Yeah, but
most of you. No wait. Let me just play devil's advocate. You guys came in thinking it was a 4-3-3, yeah? If Vardy is the striker that the majority of you went with, and then Dapo, you've gone with Aubameyang, yeah?
Yeah.
Leeds, you went with Salah. Alex and Sebi went with Rashford. You've mentioned Ings as honourable mention, Salah as an honourable mention because he hasn't got into either team.
Right.
Where's there still space for
I'm
Aubameyang?
gonna say them.
Oh, come on, man.
We
Come on, man. Come on,
We good
respect.
We good
Come on,
children.
respect.
Respect. but we good
Respect.
children.
Respect.
We're good
All I'm saying is,
children.
if Rashford was
Hey,
white
hey,
and from
hey,
Manchester, you lot would be on him.
Honorable
That's all I'm saying.
mentions are for the guys that you wouldn't expect to be there, but they didn't.
Rashford had a great season though.
Yeah.
Wait. You're mentioning Ings. Ings only outscored Rashford. Rashford's been out for 3 months, and Ings has 2 more goals than him.
Huh?
Exactly, bro.
Rashford's taken like 10
Ings plays
penalties.
for
Where's
Southampton, bro.
Ings plays for
Bro.
Southampton.
Ings plays
We're
for
the same level. We're the same
Rashford
level as
plays for Manchester
Southampton.
United.
We're the same level as Southampton.
Yo,
And
Didn't
also,
Southampton
many
lose 9-0
starts.
Didn't Southampton
Let me
lose
give you
9-0 at
context.
home?
now let me give you context as well.
Huh?
Danny
Bad game.
Ings, has 1 more points for his team than I think anyone else in the league.
Yeah.
Well, and I also think that he scored in more goals than most. I think he's not really got that many braces. I think he just gets 1 goal again. So it's
Look at Man United. Look at Rashford though, and look at the team he's carrying, man. Look at the team he's carrying.
Rashford is literally carrying.
Look at the team he's carrying, man.
He's carrying United, bro. Come on, man.
You lot are doing them dirty. Danny Ings definitely gets on.
We'll put both of the teams up on the account, and we'll see which one wins. So now, gonna get on to our next discussion, which is Player of the Year. Let's go around the room. Let's see what names you heathens have got for me. Alex, what players did you have when you were thinking Player of the Year?
I had on my Player of the Year list. I had Mane, KDB. I was thinking of a cheeky Mahrez, but I just thought, I don't know, like
That's
player
very
of the year.
cheeky.
Yeah, that is very cheeky. You know what I'm saying?
Some would
I
say
love
downright.
Mahrez.
Some would say downright disrespectful.
I love Mahrez a lot. VVD, of course.
Yeah.
I know defenders, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I went Mane. You know.
Mane, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Leeds. Player of the year.
Mane for me. Yeah, for me, I think he's just been instrumental. I know he went off the ball in terms of goals in the last couple of weeks, but performances-wise, he's been mad. So, yeah, I'll always give the edge just over performances more than the goals. So, Mane for me, been sick. And when it comes to being clutch, that guy was as clutch as they come. So, yeah, Mane.
Cool. Dapper?
I mean, I went Kevin De Bruyne because I don't think there's anyone better than him this season. That he's a City team that's not performed the way that they could have, and he's been sick. He's carried them. Talk about carrying a team. Without him, they look very, very different.
Yeah. Dissu?
Yeah, I'm with Daps. I think Kevin De Bruyne is the best player in Premier League, and I don't even think it's even been close. I think the level he's played as individuals is higher than anybody by some distance. His production has been through the roof. His performances have been consistent, and as Dap said, a lot of man in City have been looking funny. So Sterling's been looking funny. Bernardo Silva's been looking hella funny, innit? Got quick 1 year of accolades, back to being a bum. David Silva's on a farewell tour like D-Wade last year. So they've had no defenders. They're putting Fernandinho centre back and that. So, but he's been sick. Like, I think Mane's been great, but the level of play from De Bruyne, I think is higher than everybody else's by distance.
I'm gonna go with that. Fuck it, I'll go with that because you lot are right. KDB for me has been ridiculous, especially after the back of an injury hit season as well. And I think in the summer, he was proper like, he done like a Twitter promotional video. It's like, I'm back. Watch.
I saw that.
Watch. Yeah. He smashed up. So yeah,
started crossing the ball 8 times a game.
I have to. I don't care. I have to give him his dues, man. He said he's gonna mash it up, and he mashed it up. So yeah, KDB, fuck it. I'll convert.
Calm. And Seb, who knows who he's gonna say here?
Hey, who knows? But no, I have to go with my boy Mane because just some of the times when he just come off the bench and he's really been instrumental to Liverpool's title charge, and he just kind of reminded me of like this Liverpool team kind of reminded me of like the Fergie days, like, and Mane was that special player that if you're losing, you need a goal, bring him on, even if it's on the bench or if it's the 80th minute or whatever, he's just going to score. He always seemed like he was going to score. So now he's got all my respect. And for me, yeah, it's been a player of my season.
Well, I think Mane started off the season very well, very strongly for Liverpool. He kind of went off the boil a bit. When he went off the boil, Salah, who'd kind of started off slower, kind of picked up the slack. So it's kind of difficult to separate them. Wouldn't you guys say Liverpool's most consistent player has probably been VVD?
No.
Who do you think their most consistent player has been?
Mane. Because man are talking like VVD hasn't been getting fists up on the low.
Has he got? Is that what you're saying? He's been getting fisted up on the low, yeah?
100% agree. 100% agree.
And also,
you 100% agree, Alex. Not even 99, 95, 100%.
No, 150%.
I'd say I disagree. I think their most consistent player has been Jordan Henderson.
Here we go. The Boo Boys. Boo Boys have got to him. The Boo Boys have got to him. You've been watching football through a kaleidoscope.
Honestly, when Henderson was out the team, they looked very, very different.
Yeah, they did look funny though. I did have Henderson on my team of the year list as well because they did look.
Why didn't you mention him? Why didn't you mention him? Because you knew better.
I don't like him. I don't think Alex Ferguson told us he runs like a robot. I'm not on him.
I just think that was more to do with where they were at that stage in the season. Fabinho had come back and he hadn't been bright. So Henderson, while not being amazing, had been consistent. You take that out, Nabcam, Keita's not doing very much for you. You know
what about that, brother? You know,
which now will give us a good game.
What we expect from Keita? Come on, fam.
You play football to escape poverty, man.
It's just I forgot he existed.
Which now will give you a top game every 3 games or so.
No, man, I'm saying Henderson. Nah.
Henderson's it's a tough one for me. I think VVD's been their most consistent player.
I think Mane, man.
That's fine. So that one goes to KDB. Just hopefully he still gets the lift out awards. We'll see how it goes. Everything's up in the air still. Young player of the year. I envision this being a pretty straightforward one, but Seb's in the mixer, so you can never be too sure. So we'll start with you, Seb. Who's your young player of the year?
Oh, man, still my DP. If you're not gonna give him player of the year, he's 100% young player of the year. Marcus Rashford, 1,000,000,000% young player of the year.
100% will suffice, sir.
Yeah.
Alex.
I'm going for unorthodox Madison.
Okay, Madison. Disu.
Oh, Rashford. Without question, without shout out, Rashford.
Oh wow. Okay, got some legs now.
What age is it? It's 23 and under, right?
It's 23 and under. Meads.
Marquise Rashford.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna go for Trent.
Yeah. And Dapper.
I was gonna say Trent. You can't.
Trent.
I mean,
yeah, that's kind of the standout candidate. So, not Seb because we know what he's about. Mees and Disu, can you explain why you've gone for Marcus Rashford over Trent Alexander-Arnold?
I think. Okay. I think first things first. I think offensive players tend to have more value to me, my football pitch, than defensive players. Even though Trent plays like a fake right back, and also I feel like if you look at their performance level, like Trent has been sick. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big Trent fan, so it's my first choice right back. But some of the games that Rashford played, like the City game, he was just unplayable. Chelsea at home in the first game, unplayable. Spurs at home, and this is without Martial and Pogba, unplayable. Liverpool as well, sick. You know what I'm saying? So Rashford has obviously playing a poor team. He's carried the attack in certain games, especially when Martial wasn't playing and Martial was injured and Pogba was out. So he's upped his production. Obviously, he's a bit inflated because of penalties. We can't really talk about that. But and also the fact that the big games, he has been excellent. And also, obviously, to make my argument stronger, I can't lie. I've seen a couple man make Trent twerk in that, like from like, and it's not even just big boys. Like it's everybody. Like Trent's letting everybody smash. Like first game of the season, Norwich brothers twisting man up. Yeah? And then that guy from Newcastle, who I think is kind of dead, yeah, Williams, make Trent.
Oh, Williams.
Yeah, I was making Trent do the bone ball and that. I was like, right, well, go on. So, do you know what I mean? So I'll give it Rash.
Maybe Saul gave him a bad one as well. Come on, man.
Oh my God, Saul was making it work. So, but I understand the Trent shout though. I won't be too mad. But me personally, I'll give it Rash.
Mees, why did you go with Rashford?
A number of reasons. His performances against the top sides have been sensational, to be honest. And I feel like his I wouldn't say transformation, but I feel like he's elevated in terms of his performances. I feel like after being under under Voldemort in terms of Jose Mourinho, I feel like he's been the shackles have been released, and you're getting back to the Rashford that you saw under LVG. A lot more confident. He also has one thing with him. If he thinks too much, that's when he starts looking a bit mad. I think now he's just going with it. Very instinctive, and that's when you see the best version of Marcus. And he's been clapping goals as much as he can score like 5 penalties, yeah. But impactfulness as well. He's been class. So I'll say Marcus Rashford for me is quite comfortable.
Cool. Alex, you went with Madison. Why?
I tried to be different, Mariah. You know, I tried to be humble, but I definitely have Rashford written here as young player of the year. That's my boy.
I like you. You like going against the grain. Put up a defensive Madison since you brought his name to the fore. Don't just bring him here then dash him.
Cool. Sorry.
You bring the girl to the dance and then you see her next thing. Oh, I'm all right, you know.
I respect that. To be fair, I respect that. That's elite mentality.
Tough time never last.
Yeah, you need that to go to the top, man.
But now why I brought Madison because like I won't lie to you, my football memory right now, yeah, I've got like baby brain. Like I haven't watched football in so long.
It's been a while, yeah.
But from what I remember, Madison, whenever I check the score or when I'm watching him play, like Madison is involved. Assist, goal, chances created. He's there, and this is someone that is coming from, like I said earlier, Norwich. He's worked his way through the levels.
And why did you pick Wenduya though?
Sorry?
Why didn't you pick Wenduya?
The connection is not that great, so it's sad. But what I can say for the question that I did hear was that Madison, yeah, Maddison, like I said, he's always involved. He's always there. He scores goals. I see his name a lot. He's always scoring more time. And him and Vardy's connection is great. He's always working hard. He's pushing. He's got himself in a conversation for Man United. Little things like that. Like I know Man United are the best anymore, but yeah, Maddison for me.
Cool, but Maddison for you, but really rash.
Yeah, no, rash, absolutely rash.
Change my state of mind.
I said, ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Buendia, that. Nah, cuz.
No. Buendia's absolutely classy.
Oh, you slip it in there. And finally, Dapper. Trent. I didn't think it would end up like this, to be honest. I thought Trent was going to win this comfortably. So, colour me surprised. So, yeah, what's your defense of Trent here, sir?
I mean, he's got 12 assists from right back.
It's mad, isn't it? Mad.
He's 21, and he's at a team they just won the Champions League. They're gonna win the Prem. It's hard to kind of exclude him, really. I mean, as I said, I agree with a lot of the players that when Rashford was at the top of his game, like towards December time, I thought Rashford was gonna hit 20 plus goals this season, and if he did that and then carried on, then he'd probably be my vote. But he's been missing for a few months now, so you can't really give someone young player of the season if they missed half the season.
True.
For me,
True.
Fair enough.
That's very fair.
Can I ask a question?
Nah, I'm switching mine back. I'm switching it to Trent. That's true. You
You lot are so fickle.
Can I ask a question?
You lot will vote, yeah?
Hey,
Someone
I'm giving
will
you
talk.
this year. I'm giving you 10 seconds to switch it back.
You know
What the fuck? What's going on, bro? Relax, man.
I ain't
What I wanna
gonna
ask you-
switch, but
Yeah.
I ain't gonna switch, but you lot have made some very good points. Still, I just want to say that.
Okay.
ask you,
Here's the biggest point. Here's the biggest point. Yeah, Marcus Rashford raises 20 million to feed the homeless. But Marcus Rashford 20 million
What's
to feed the
Trent
homeless.
doing?
What's
Snapchat
Trent
with
doing?
girlfriend.
Come on, what's Trent doing?
done?
Man's on
Snapchatting with
Instagram
girlfriends.
live and that. Come on, bro.
Come on,
Respect
man.
Rashford.
Playing
Big
FIFA.
player, man.
E-cup and that. Come on, man. He's a little boy for Rash. But listen, what I want to ask you,
Yeah,
what
go
I
on,
want to
Alex.
ask is, don't you think, I've always thought this in my head, don't you not think that Trent's success is 80% Liverpool system? Obviously, no, he's got dumb tech, but don't you think a lot of it is down to the
A
system?
lot of it goes for him. A lot of the play
But I
goes
think
for
they
him.
play
That's
that way
consistent.
because of who he is.
Yes,
They wouldn't
consistent.
if he would.
That's like saying, you man, don't you think that Neymar's good because PSG play through him? Like, come on, bro.
They only play through him because he's good. Yeah.
Because he's good, bro. That's why I have that system, because he's sick, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think Trent in another club is doing what he's doing right now. No way. Sorry, I don't see it.
He's probably not having to. He's probably not having to spam as many long balls because it's such a key part of their direct play. But he stands out in any team for me.
Hey, Trent and City, yeah, bare numbers, cuz.
Yeah. Tell him.
Because he's got PMP as well. Don't forget about that. He leaves guys. He leaves guys when he has to get running. So we've got 2 votes for Trent and we've got 2 votes for Rashford. Alex, you're in the middle with Maddison. You said your true vote was going to Rashford. So you've obviously heard Dapo's defense of Trent, and you've heard a combination of people's defenses of Rashford. Where's your vote going, the deciding vote?
So I'm the decider.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I want to pick Trent Rashford. Marcus Rashford, please.
I wish you guys could have seen my face. I was about to break the screen. Fam, I was about to break the screen, fam.
No, young player of the year, Marcus Rashford.
If you can't get a team of the year, I have to give him young player of the year, man.
I hate that's Seb logic. If you can't give him a man this, you got to give him the next
I
thing.
love
Yeah, man.
Cool. So we're going to finish up with some listeners' questions this evening. We've got quite a lot of questions, so bear with me, guys. Try to spread them out across the group. So the first question is from Dams Uchiha. He's comparing 2 England sides, and he's asking which England team would win if they played each other in a best of 3. One of them is the golden generation, so that's the team Lampard, Beckham, Scholes, Gerrard, Rooney, Terry, Campbell, Owen, Ashley Cole, and Gary Neville. Apologies for not going from back to front. I just can't.
Man just said bare names, bro.
Right, cool. So one's a golden generation. So David,
don't let me know listing all the stuff he buys in these verses.
Audemars, Rafe, Balenciaga, yeah. Cool. All right, I'll go from back to front. So we've got David James in goal, Gary Neville at right back. Centre backs are Sol Campbell and John Terry. Left back is Ashley Cole. Midfield, we've got Beckham on the right, Gerrard and Lampard in the middle, Scholes on the left, and up top we've got Rooney and Michael Owen. And the team they'd be going up against is, what's Everton's keeper called again?
Pickford.
Jordan Pickford.
Whoa, boy, I don't reckon I know these. Jordan Pickford, Kyle Walker, John Stones, Harry Maguire, Ashley Young, Kieran Trippier, Henderson, Dele Alli, Lingard, Sterling, and Harry Kane.
Hey, that second team is ass.
That is the worst England team.
It's got 3 right backs.
I think you're saying that. I think he's saying a back three.
Yeah, so yeah, like the World Cup. Yeah,
So who was the back three again? Was it
Walker,
Maguire, and
Walker.
Stone?
Yeah, and then
Okay, so let's go again.
Ashley Young left wing back.
So it's
yeah,
Pickford and the back three of Walker, Maguire, and Stones, and then you've got you've got Trippier at right wing back, Ashley Young at left wing back. Centre midfield is Henderson and is that Dele Alli?
Yeah,
Yeah, it must be.
Henderson, Dele Alli, and
Lingard in front.
Lingard in front, and then you've got Kane and Sterling. Of those two teams, which one would win in a best of 3?
I think they're asking because England made it to the semis, you know. That's so sad.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, what do you guys think?
I think the first team.
I think the first team. I think if you make an England team now, because a lot of those players that you listed, like Trippier,
Ashley Young.
All them man are in the mud.
Lingard and Dele Alli, them man are kind of done at it still. Yeah.
Okay, let's make the England team now that you'd put against this golden generation then. Who would be in goal? Pickford still?
No.
Henderson.
Ian Henderson.
Henderson? Who's your right back?
Trent.
Your centre back pairing?
Maguire.
Maguire, inshallah. I'm going Gomez.
Maguire and
Gomez.
Gomez.
Wow, John Stones is
in the mud, yes.
in the mud. Wow.
He's in soil.
Wow, Disu, I'm proud of you. Welcome. We've come a long way.
Left back.
Sure.
I was going to say Robertson.
Sticky on still.
Sure.
Messi still.
Hey, Saka.
Brandon Williams. What, is he English?
Saka.
Give it Bukayo Saka, bro.
I mean, I'm biased.
Actually, no. What am I talking about?
No, I think Saka was going to go Euros, you know, so I'll give it Saka too.
Nah,
I'll give it
man.
Saka
That guy
as well,
gets
man. I
pissed off all the
respect him.
time. Nah, he
I
gets
respect
pissed
him,
off
man.
all the
I
time.
respect Saka, man.
I respect him still.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's good.
And Chilwell don't get Potter skates.
But to be fair, Saka does bring more going forward. He's way better than Chilwell going forward. Fuck it. Give Saka. Give Saka. Million percent, actually. Chilwell, no.
Okay, fine.
No
Saka
brainer.
at left
I
back.
typed in Mahrez Chilwell on YouTube, on Google, and I saw about 5 different angles of Chilwell.
Mahrez didn't make Chilwell Saka dance, did he? They didn't play. They didn't play yet.
Nah.
They didn't play.
It was pending though.
But no.
So Saka at left
Nah,
back, yeah?
they did play.
Not Chilwell dance. Not Chilwell spinning Rooney.
They did play. He done all right against him.
He did all right, yeah?
Yeah, they did play. Because Kolasinac started and then come off injured when it was already 3-0, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. He was all right. Yeah, he came off.
I like you, young G. I like you. I'm gonna allow you because it's 3-0. So I allow you still.
What formation are we going with here?
4-3-3.
Yeah.
Or do you say this is 4-2-3-1?
4-3-3.
Oh, 4-3-3. So who's your midfield trio?
Foden, Henderson, Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Holding.
Wait,
you're
not just making up any midfields. Can we go with what England would actually use at least?
Holding. I think this player had a really, really good chance. But obviously, what happened? I'm going Calvin Phillips.
Okay, yeah.
I think he had a chance.
Harry Winks.
Who?
I think he had a chance.
I'm not having Winks.
Yeah, Calvin Phillips is sick.
He had a
But
chance.
would he have actually gone?
I think he would have gone. I think he would have gone. Like there was before Corona, they were saying that Southgate was watching him and they wanted to take him. But so for me, I think in terms of like technically and the holding midfielders England do have, for me, I think he's the one with the most ability. However, obviously he hasn't played at the top level, but just from what I see, he's got unreal ability.
All right, begrudgingly, Calvin Phillips. And who would be in the midfield with him?
Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
He definitely wouldn't have gone, man.
Oh, not this time. I'm talking about 2021, bro.
Let's talk about 2020.
Oh, my bad.
Ox is my first number 8. I love Ox.
What?
I'm not sure.
I love Ox. Ox is a bad boy. That's my first one.
You got to feed the Madders pasta, yeah. So
yeah, I'll definitely have a Madison.
So Madison, Phillips, and who's the third one?
Wait, what? Madison over Oxlade?
100%.
What's going on? What's going on?
100%.
I don't know who my third one would be though.
Bro, Ox is a bad boy. I'm going Ox and Grealish, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Grealish and Madison.
They're too similar, man. It's one or the other.
Yeah, Grealish for me gets in.
What about So there's
Southgate ain't picking Grealish though.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, bruv, it's Madison.
Then again, did you see how long it took? No, you see how long it took Madison to get a call-up? So
there's also Barkley.
Barkley's
not to play Walters in the season.
It's been good though.
It's Henderson. It's Henderson. Yeah,
Henderson starting. Let's be honest. So Calvin Phillips, Henderson, and I need one more.
No. There's no Calvin Phillips.
No, there's no Calvin Phillips with Henderson.
Calvin Phillips ain't starting. Calvin Phillips is not starting. I promise you, that guy's not starting. He's not even going on the plane. So I don't know what this talk is about, bro.
It's a Henderson thing. As much as I hate it.
He's going to take 6 midfielders, yeah?
Yeah.
Winks is going to be one of them, and Henderson's going to be one of them, yeah? Mm-hmm. Definitely, yeah?
Okay.
He's definitely taking
Oxlade, man.
He's definitely taking Ox. He's definitely taking Madison. And he's going to take Barkley, yeah? So the other one is going to be either Dyer, or maybe Grealish, or maybe Foden. Ain't going to be
Dyer's in the mud. Dyer gets minutes for Thursday, then gets taken off.
And also, if Ruben Loftus-Cheek came back this season, Ruben's going. So...
Yo.
But was he coming back though?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can train in, I swear.
He was.
For me, there's three players in that same position that are better than Ruben.
You're bugging the hell out.
There's Ox, Madison, and Grealish. Ox, Madison, and Grealish are better than Ruben.
Ox!
Yeah, Ox. Ox is unreal, man.
Ox!
Absolutely unreal. He's my favourite player out of the lot.
They'll find a way to pay right wing. We're paying CM. Allow me, bro.
Nah, he's my favourite player out of the lot.
I know what Sebi was talking about. Like, so Ox is good, but nah, man, come on.
Guys, I'm gonna have to push you for an answer here. Come on. So, what's the midfield, please?
Henderson.
I'll just stop asking this question and we'll go on to the next one.
If Phillips is involved, take me out of the process.
There's no Phillips.
There's no Phillips.
It's Henderson. It's Henderson that's the deep. Look how happy he is.
Henderson, Ox, and Grealish.
Not Grealish is going.
He is going. Grealish is better than Madison as well.
Henderson, Ox, and Madison. Okay, and who's our forward line?
Sterling, Kane, and Rush.
No.
Nah,
Sancho.
Sorry, Sancho.
Sancho.
Wait, repeat that. What did you mention?
Wait, who's not starting?
Rashford's not starting.
That's a lie.
Are you guys crazy? Do you think Rashford is not starting for England?
Off the back injury, come on, of course not.
Fam, are you guys crazy?
He wasn't starting before. You talk about you crazy.
We're talking about.
Are you crazy? He was starting. He didn't start one game. He come on, clapped, and then he started the rest of the games because England couldn't do nothing without him. He come on, clapped, and then started all of the games. There was one game he didn't play, and then he come on and he sorted it out.
Man said all of the games. He started one other. They played 2 games, and he started the other game.
Nah,
man. You don't need to stop acting like Rashford don't clap for England, man.
Bang, and then banged again. Come on, man. It was England's best player.
You said Rashford claps for England, yeah?
Yeah. Rashford is starting. Rashford is starting. 100%.
I think so. I think it depends on whoever's had the best form leading up to it. That's what.
And that would have been Sancho.
And then on top of that, Harry Kane was done at it as well. Let's not forget.
Yeah, I know.
Harry Kane's the captain.
Harry Kane's captain as well. So.
But
you said Henderson was a captain. Finished. Which one is it, man?
Listen, let's move on to the next question.
I think it's Kane.
First Kane.
We'll move to the next question.
Yeah, let's go
bro.
next
I ain't gonna
question.
lie.
'cause it's
Yeah, we
hard.
couldn't quite
There's no
decide
way-
on the
there's
England
no way there's
lineup
an
there.
There's no way there's an England squad without Rashford.
Yeah, no, he'll go, but I don't know if he starts.
What do you
is
mean
what I'm
he'll
saying.
go?
Dishy, that's very
He'll go.
cheeky because that's the only picture of them together. That's very cheeky.
Have you noticed that everybody's got a starting number?
Rashford is number 10. Don't do that.
Rashford is number 10.
Don't
Not
do
his
that.
number.
No, he was number
Don't
20
do
or
that.
something when he
He's
played.
number
That's
10.
man.
Don't do that.
Anyway,
He's
guys,
number
I'm gonna
10.
go. I'll
When
go
he
to
start, when he starts, he's number 10. Yeah.
Little bomber
Yeah.
clock.
Yeah, so which is every game.
That's what's
Don't do
number
that.
10, bro.
Okay, we're gonna go to the next question from Anik Palmer.
4 years since Leicester's Premier League triumph. Interested to see where you rank it amongst greatest ever Premier League achievements. You not catch that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Silence,
right up.
boy.
I think it's right up there, man.
I think it's the greatest achievement.
Come on, man. It's an amazing achievement.
Nah, second to the Invincibles.
Oh, okay.
I like, man. We got 15
then
draws,
it's
man.
got to be
Lie,
third
man.
to the three-peat, man. Then, that's what I mean.
I can't lie. Fergie done a 3-peat twice, so hey.
Come on. We've got respect
Oh,
for Uncle
So what's
Fergie up
number
there.
one?
We're
Fergie.
talking about single seasons.
I
Hey,
think
look
right.
at changing the diameter of the question. I said single season.
He doesn't actually specify, but just interested to see where you rank it amongst greatest ever Premier League achievements. I think that opens it up for debate. It doesn't have to be.
It's
simple.
probably second to the Invincibles, isn't it?
Okay.
No. It's better than Invincibles.
Why?
Because them man draw 500 games or whoopsie fucking. Leicester almost got relegated. Next year came out and clapped up everybody.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The Leicester
Wait,
team might be the best thing ever.
Invincibles, they drew, I think it's 12 games on 26.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Leicester because Leicester.
Conte's Chelsea, yeah, won 30 games, yeah. So let's not.
Yeah. Okay, but they lost.
No,
That's
Leicester
the only
season
point
the best,
you can
man.
make.
He makes a good point, but they lost. So you know.
No, Leicester season for me is.
Well, how many games did Leicester lose that season? 2?
Now they didn't get. They got like 86 points. Points wise,
No, but you have to keep it's Leicester.
Yeah, no, I'm saying no.
Yeah.
I thought he was trying to come from like the points angle.
No,
I just
no.
letting him know points wise. It was
With Ranieri as the manager. Come on.
Hey, can a man them deep the numbers though?
Well, who's got more goals for England? Allow me, man.
Bro, 19.
Allow me, man. He's not 19. That's the number they gave him when he first went. Obviously, there was a
You
mishap.
see the number here, man. Why is everyone acting
Come on,
like
man.
you can't see the
That's a very
1-0?
old.
Hey, Seb,
That's
where did you get that from?
1-0, man. Come on, man. You see the 1-0.
Guys, let's stay on track. Please. Come on, gentlemen. So you lot have Leicester's achievement. Is it above the Invincibles or second? Can we come?
Shameless. Above the Invincible still.
I'm voting above.
I'm voting above.
Meads
Leicester only lost 3 games that season, and that's Leicester.
above
Arsenal.
I want to say yes because Arsenal were pussies for two months. I remember they were like too scared, so they just kept drawing every game. I remember, but nah, I'm gonna give it Arsenal. Going unbeaten is fake, bro. Honestly, going unbeaten is fake, and they continued it again for another month or so in the new season. No.
Yeah, until the big boys come through.
Until a certain Wazza did them dirty.
Come on, man. You know the vibes.
And how about you, Dapper?
I mean, the Invincible, as you said, you go unbeaten for a whole season.
How many points did Leicester get?
Was that points?
Yeah.
85.
Oh, Arsenal got 90 points. Oh, F that.
Actually, I'm a liar. Wait, hold on. No, they got 81 points that season. Lost 3.
Yeah, Invincibles, man. Fuck the fairy tales. Yeah,
Fair enough, man. Yeah, Invincible. Let's go.
You make me sick.
Let's go, man. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even believe Leicester in my heart. I just tried to run an agenda. I'm not even gonna lie. Still, I'm not even gonna lie.
Hey, we got to give the
Number two achievement. Okay, so got a question from Chunka Lunkin. Most stressful. I'm trying not to talk too much. Chunka Lunkin. Most stressful. Chunka Lunkin. Most stressful scenario. Prime Messi isolates you on the wing. Your wife's in stands with John Terry. Losing 4-0. Neymar and Mbappe start enjoying. Played through on goal. UCL final, but Van Dijk is very local. Anfield night time. Concede after 26. The fans didn't even finish. You never walk alone. So,
hey, that's the best question of all time.
Ever.
For me, on God and everything. On everything.
Yeah.
Everything. The answer to that question has to be Anfield, bro.
Anfield night time.
Yeah, Anfield night time is a madness, bro.
Anfield,
It's a different arena, bro.
Listen, so 5:30 kickoff in winter.
Yeah.
7:30 kickoff. 7:45 kickoff in the European nights.
Long.
8 p.m. kickoff on a Monday night.
Yeah.
Scary.
If we ever get into war, with ISIS, I'm telling them to buck us at Anfield.
Anfield.
Come see us at Anfield.
7:30 p.m. on a weekday. On a weekday winter.
Anfield at Jordi Alba crying, bro, on FaceTime in the changing rooms. Come on.
Anfield is so quick. No when Liverpool were trash when they had that man like Roland and that. You still knew go to Anfield, and if it was a 4 p.m. kickoff in winter on a Super Sunday, Dirk Kuyt is still scoring 2, and you're gonna lose because the fans give every man an extra 10%, bro.
That guy clapped us though.
What Liverpool have in their stadium, is they definitely have the 12th man. A lot of spirit. Arsenal, you could be the 12th man.
Nah, that's real energy. Not even gonna lie, that's real energy. Anfield is real energy.
I'll tell you, Liverpool, they give that energy transfer. The spirit bomb thing. They do that.
Yeah,
and now their team is levels. It's long, but I can't lie. Look, I've watched bare PSG games, and when PSG are up 2-0, what Neymar and Mbappe do, I can't lie. I'll get a burner on the pitch and I start letting it off because their man will start violating. They just violate. Like, Neymar's like scooping over man's heads in the centre circle and running rings around everybody. Like, it's just mad.
Cool. But we're going with Anfield, yeah?
Yeah.
We'll ask the listeners that question tomorrow. Got a question from Keat J5. J5. All of you name one thing that you hate about the modern game. For example, in the nose, wanting to break transfer news first with no proof.
Oh, that's one of the biggest hates.
Oh, yeah. I hate that shit.
ITKs, I hate them.
Yeah.
Why do you hate
you know what it is, Everyone's got in the nose, But ITKs that go on Twitter and make it their mission to be like, okay, this deal's happening. I hate it.
With no substance. Like,
the fact of the matter is, you might be an ITK and you might actually have the right information, but the fact is, a transfer's not done until it's done. You know what I'm saying? And even like this Watford transfer that's happened just the other day, it's done, but it's not done.
My man said, nah.
No, sir, not me.
No, sir. Like, there's so many things that can happen.
Wait, hold on. What happened with the Watford transfer? Sorry?
Basically,
bro, my man's not a prick,
Basically, what happened is,
Yeah.
Watford announced that they signed a player. I completely forgot his name.
Papa something.
Papa something.
You hear me?
Bro, so they announced that they signed, and then he got on the phone to his lawyer, like, what? What did this? So apparently what happened was he signed a contract with a couple of other sides. So it's sneaky.
And obviously basically he said the Watford deal is from his old agent. So his old agent is the one that signed, is the one that patterned the Watford thing, innit? But now he's got a new agent. He's like, bruv, who are these man? No, sir, not me. So he's like, who are these man? But what I think is that he's probably signed with Watford, but his new agent's like, listen, now that now a couple man have seen your compilations, there's a couple big clubs, cuz. A couple big clubs are after you, cuz. So, fam, let's do that deal. No.
Not me.
Is there anything else you lot don't like about the modern game?
That's a VAR because it just takes things out of the game.
When you say, is it VAR or is it how we apply it in this country?
It's how we apply it.
Because I think VAR itself, you want all the decisions to be correct, but I just think how they're using it here is not on.
I mean, I personally,
so then that means problems with
sometimes I don't mind if a decision, if it goes for me and the decision's wrong, I'm buzzing. Of course you're buzzing.
Yeah.
And when it goes against you, that's when it hurts. But I don't like the length it takes for some decisions, and like sometimes you score a goal and then you're like, oh, it's
you have
not
to
a goal.
wait,
and then it is a goal,
and you celebrated and true. Anyone with Dapper there in terms of VAR?
I hear him on that. It definitely takes the immediate gratification after doing something. It takes it away because you can get penalised for something, or you could score something, but you have to wait and to make sure that it's cleared. So I get it in that regard. But I think again, it's all about application, in my opinion.
Yeah, I hear what Daps is saying because the World Cup, I thought they got VAR so right, but the Premier League, I feel like it's just a nuisance every week where you're having so much questions like, a man says suck your mum 20 minutes before the goal, so we have to VAR. We have to like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't mind it. I just wish they'd improved it better. What I like about the modern game, is because of the introduction of metrics, how much people push goals and assists in terms of evaluating games.
The
So
be
now,
all and end all, yeah.
Yeah, so now with midfielders, you're talking about goals and assists. So I've seen people like Graham Souness talk about sick players, like Modric, say, what did they do? He doesn't score or assist, or when you're comparing like midfielders now to
I don't even want to know whose that was. Keep going, this is.
Yeah, so when you compare like midfielders, like we see on Twitter, when we talk about midfielders, somebody will say, "Oh, but he's got more goal contributions." So fucking what? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't, like, there's more to football than just watch. Stats are good, but we need to use the stats to match what you see on the pitch as well. So you can say, "Oh, I've seen that Trent has been so creative," and you say, "Oh, how can you prove that?" Okay, well, look at this. He created 4 chances in this game. He created 6 chances in that game. I think that's how stats are meant to be used, where some people might not have watched anything. They'll say, "Oh yeah, I went on whoscored.com and I saw that Trent's got 55 goal contributions, so therefore he's the best right back of all time, better than Daniel Alves." So that type of stuff I don't really like.
Fair enough. Anyone else got any other things they don't like about the modern game?
Yeah, I'd say mine is pundits, lazy analysis, watching like after the games. They just like what this you said. They're just talking about irrelevant things that don't even matter to the context of the game, and it's just like this is boring. Like I want to learn something when I watch these things. Like maybe they're not the best people to. They're ex-footballers. They're all like managers and all these things. I'm not learning anything. I learn more listening to Touchlinefracas. They should get me on Sky Sports. I'm a frequent listener, and I'm not even joking. I actually learned a lot from this podcast, and it's just like, why are they in that position? Well, maybe because of benefits of being an ex-footballer and all these things. But I don't like pundits, man. I think they just talk rubbish.
Hey, Dash, you've got to show them how it's done on Sky Sports, man.
For real. Next question is from _GJR1. In light of the news that Raheem Sterling is set to sign a new $100 million deal with Puma, how would you navigate the next phase of your career if you were him, in view of Pep's inevitable departure from City's Champions League ban?
I'm all about the money, man. If I'm Sterling, like for me, for how I look at it is like Sterling, yep, absolutely great player, but if for me, I don't know how he feels in it, but I'd be a bit cynical with how kind of football and people as a whole have treated me. So now I've signed this deal with Puma. For me, I'm just gonna be super money focused. Yeah, I'm gonna obviously do the best for my team and whatnot, but yeah, I'm coming to the last 2 years of my contract. The man want me to sign. Nope, re-up, please. I need a proper deal. Do you know what I mean? Like all of that stuff, I'm just going to be money focused and then think about the later age of my the later stage of my career. Because yeah, Sterling is still young. However, like as you can see with the ban and whatever, football can just turn like that. So for me, I'll just be more like money focused, and even if it's staying with City. And missing out the Champions League, as long as they pay him the bag, they pay him the bag.
If I'm him, I go abroad because you've done it at 2 of the biggest clubs in England. At however old you are now, and then what? And the only thing I'd say for him is what Champions League. But if he's at City, he can't play in the Champions League. So if I'm him, I'm looking at my options abroad. Really.
Where would you go then? Like the Madrids.
I mean, you'd have to be a Madrid or a PSG or
I'd like him to go Barca. I'd like him to go, I think he's got the capacity to go and play on Barca.
Is he starting though?
At Barca? Yeah.
They have no speed up front.
At the minute, yeah. They've got a massive hole.
A million %. I wouldn't want him to go to Madrid. I think that could be a lot for him. You know what I mean? And they don't give people.
I don't think nothing's a lot for Sterling.
No. That's not in terms of. I don't think I think he can manage it, but I think once they get on your back, it's very, very difficult for them to change that perception. I think once they're on you, they're on you.
That man chasing you with motorbikes.
I'm saying, bro, like Bell has done a lot for the club.
Did they trash Bell's car?
Yeah, Bell.
They built Casillas.
Bell.
The game's a game, bro.
Yeah, so I wouldn't want that. I think at Barcelona he will perform just as well.
Oh
as
nah, them man are peak as well though.
No, but
yeah,
they're not.
they concern because I've heard stories of them questioning Xavi early on in his career.
Them man are ruthless. Remember,
man.
they've had the last 15 years of Messi, and within that they've had Ronaldinho, they've had Eto'o, they've had Villa, they've had Suarez, Henri, washed up Henri, but Henri regardless. The bar is very high at Barca, and if you ain't coming with that, they're onto you, man. Their hankies aren't white, probably blue and purple, but still, hankies have to get waved, man.
Yeah.
Cool. And yeah, so with that, lads, I want to thank you all for your time this evening.
Bless.
Dapo, Alex, thanks for coming through, lads.
Hey, you two are
No,
Yeah, quality
us,
guests.
Thank you.
Seb,
Hey, come back anytime. We're trying to get rid of Seb and that, so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I can see why. I can see why with the pretenders.
Nah, I can't lie. I'm as shameless as Seb. You haven't met me properly. That's why, man. Trust me.
Alex, you support Man U, so you're more than welcome to come on the Mugger Pod.
Yeah, I love to.
The content kings of the Touchline Fracas family. And with that, lads, have a nice evening.